Hello, good evening. Welcome in, everybody. Whoops. Let me. Okay. Welcome in. Let me know if in the chat if you can hear me. Okay. Let me get set up here. We just got. Well, it's me, Butterfly, and Rachel. Welcome in, girls. Welcome in. We'll get started anyway. I just got my coffee ready. Can you hear me? Okay in the chat. Good deal. We are here. We're sounding good then. All right. Get all settled in. See, when I don't do it for like a day or so, it's like, uh, am I doing this right? Have I forgotten anything important? You never know. I gotta get my notes straight as well. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. We didn't see. I forgot. I didn't go live yesterday and talk about anything that I had on my notes. So, oh, I just looked down at my note and remembered something I saw on X yesterday, and I know I saved it. It's weird. Okay, cool. I'm glad the sound is working out for us. Welcome in, everybody. If y'all don't mind, hit the thumbs up on your way in. Um, I'm going to bring Butterfly up here with us tonight. Welcome, welcome in, ma'am. Welcome in.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Hi, Rachel.
Your sound is still
Hi,
good.
Salty. Yeah, good.
Yeah, like we were
The,
testing. We test out backstage, and like I'll go to tell her, okay, I'm going to go live, and we'll be like, all right, bye. Like we're on the phone or something. And so she went to
every
do
time, right?
she went to do that. She's like, "Oh, I almost said bye." I was like, "Okay, well, all right, bye." And I was like, "Oh shit, I just did it." So yeah. So hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Dogs finally stopped barking, so we're good.
Really? Nothing. Don't startle the dogs, man. Too
Uh,
nobody call.
the wind changed directions and they start
Oh
barking. So,
no. Okay.
mm,
Mm. Well, my coffee got finished, so I just got that fixed. But I
oh,
do
good.
have to open my door super quick and grab something. Well, I'll be right back. So hang on
Okay.
a second.
Come on in, everybody.
Okay. So how you been doing? We didn't go live yesterday or anything like that. So
Yeah, I guess I'm good. Like I told you earlier, my husband's working at festival, so I've just kind of been
yeah,
a little stressed out today. But other than that, this will kind of keep my mind off things.
yeah, working a large event, so you don't with the you don't know these days with that scares me,
Mm-hmm.
right? It
Yeah.
started to bother me years ago, and I remember when it happened. Like the first time I went to a large event after it wasn't safe to always go to large events. Um,
Right.
and I remember thinking, wow, it's that simple. All right, I don't want to be that person, but I remember thinking, have I
Mm-hmm.
done this in my lifetime already, or I'm just good to stay home now? Because I think I am.
Yeah.
But let's pray. Everything will be just
Thank
fine.
you.
He's
Yeah.
gonna be
Has to
just
be.
well, maybe just have to contend with a bunch of over intoxicated people.
Yeah.
You know?
That too. If that's the worst of it, then yeah.
Yeah,
Just we just don't want another situation like last week. So.
yeah. We do not. No, not at all. It's not cool when you have to worry about your loved ones. We're gonna worry regardless most of the time. But
Mm-hmm.
when they're doing something that could be risky, it's a little unsettling until they get home. So I'm glad you come up
Yeah.
here with us and can hang out. Maybe we can
Yeah.
get it off your mind for a little while. Let's see.
Thank you.
Not me. Welcome in. Lindsay, hey girl, welcome in. FarQ, welcome back. Thank y'all for coming in. There's not a lot happening by way of actual um, concrete anything in this case still. No evidence, no new evidence has emerged. No, no nothing. So Nano's trying to defend his little
Mm-hmm.
resume situation. You know, he's always gonna have some kind of drama. But outside of that, nothing case wise pertaining to Nancy Guthrie.
No, just the
It's
daily circus outside the
it's
house.
wild. I know it's wild. It's like even after Sebastian Rogers, right? The way we followed that case and how we know how long he's been gone, you would think that's not the chances of that happening again so rare, but it's not as rare as we think. The people just
Mm-hmm.
go missing and never be found, right? It happens
Right.
so much more than we think or know, unfortunately. And this is it one or is this going to be one of those cases, right, where that
Yeah.
ends up happening? Um, where it's a
I
long
certainly
term.
hope not.
God, I hope not too, but I just at this point, I have to have faith they have something, but it doesn't appear they have a whole lot of anything, you know?
Mm-mm.
So, even if you don't have enough DNA to test through your mixture, then what do you got? You know, there's
Right.
not a lot. So I don't know how long it would be. Would it become one of those cases that never got solved, or one of those that finally 10 years later
Mm-hmm.
fresh eyes were on the case and that one thing that got missed. You know how it is on those shows, right? Those shows
Right.
about stuff like that. Or somebody finally taught, who knows? Or she's found or something. Um, it's just wild that regardless of who her children are, right? To think that this day and age that it can just
Mm-hmm.
happen without a sign of even how they left the neighborhood. Usually you have an indication of that at least because of cameras.
Right.
These days, right? Shit,
When you
they
when you think of this case and then Sebastian's case, which the same thing, we just don't know
didn't know.
anything.
Right. No cameras, nobody saw anything, well, there's a thud, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Dark, again, nothing, just gone, right out the door seemingly, and the Nancy, we can tell, went out the door in some capacity,
Mm-hmm.
walked, carried, who knows at this point, but, that's debatable. But yeah, just go missing out of your home. You hear like abducted from the grocery store parking lot. That was a thing before Walmart and everybody
Yeah,
put cameras everywhere. We got to
I
stop
remember.
this, bad for business, right? Yeah. Those larger parking lots started coming along, and all of a sudden women were getting snatched in parking lots, soccer moms left and right. It was
At the
crazy.
mall.
Yeah, yes. Yes. It didn't seem to matter, did it? Um,
Mm-mm.
you could not be, you had to have your head on a swivel, so to speak. Um, but now there's cameras everywhere, so the fact that you don't even have like suspicious vehicles entering and exit, you didn't have that in Sebastian's case either, right? No
With
suspicious.
all the technology that we have today, just nowhere to be found.
It makes you want to call your city and say, "Hey, do our red light cameras record anything, or are y'all just monitoring the traffic situation and
Right.
snapping some license plates in case I speed?" Or we're just
Well, I
worried
know
about
when I had my accident, I inquired about that, and there was, even though it says there was cameras in the area, they said they didn't have anything.
ours record. You know how I know? They
Hmm.
installed these. Okay, we installed new red lights, probably a couple decades back, but these new red lights are made to withstand hurricanes. The old ones were the old upgrade, and then we got these new, and the way they did them,
Hmm.
it's just totally different, right? So when they installed all these new lights all around town, they installed all their new camera systems. And my old roommate, she's like, "Oh my god." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Come here and look at this." She shows me her phone. I look at her phone and it's the emails she got. License plate reader captured her tag, but attached was a video they thought she might want to see. She wasn't the one driving her car, it was her nephew. He's approaching the red light, and the car is sitting at the red light. Their light is red, but he doesn't realize that light's red, I guess. or realize that car's sitting still and he is about to plow into the ass end of that car. Scared me to death watching.
Oh,
And at the last minute, he yanks that wheel into the next lane. Fortunately for him, there was nobody in that next lane.
right.
So they recorded the whole thing and was able to
Wow.
send her a link to watch it, right? So, hell, if y'all got the capabilities are out there. I've seen it with
Mm-hmm.
my own 2 eyes. So,
Right.
and if all you're concerned about, I mean, I get that that was the initial, well, was it the initial reason y'all claimed was to put the cameras up for traffic, this and that, and taking pictures of license plates? Well, for what? Speeding tickets or to help solve crimes as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got
Yeah.
those gunshot detection things in some towns.
That's crazy.
I think they installed one. I think they installed one somewhere around here. I don't know where in town it was. Well, I think I know which area. You know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
think did install one. I just like I don't know what
Oh,
that's gonna
wow.
do, but okay.
You see, Lindsay's and Farkey's comments.
Yeah, Lindsay, those kind of things stick with you, right, when you're young. Or they a lot of times they do if you hear about them. You're like, "What?" Because you don't comprehend that can actually happen till you hear it, you know what I mean? Um, and that reality sets in. It makes you not wanna leave your mom, right? And not wanna you can't trust what's going on around you. What
Right.
the intent of the people around you. You might think we're safe, we're in the store shopping, you know, and I think back on the times we were kids, walking around the Kmart with Granny with the blue light special, wherever that thing was at, that's where she was going, and we're just
Kmart.
like yeah, following back like little ducks, and she's just like, you know, it was what it was. But
Mm-hmm.
we also knew even back then, this is the '70s, y'all. Stranger comes approaching, no, we don't. Mm-mm,
Stranger danger.
mm-mm. We
Yeah.
were taught stranger danger even in the '70s. I was at least.
Yeah.
But I mean, we hit where y'all with the white van and all. Come on, that started in the '70s. Creeper van right there. You do not go near the white van at all.
Right.
You stay
Even
away
to,
from it.
even today, same thing. So
Yeah.
Farkey said they had a kidnapping. He was
Well,
kidnapped on the 13th of February. 85-year-old kidnapper sent a torture video to family. It was a wrong family. They had the wrong person. He was found about 2 weeks deceased. Kidnappers in custody. Two rich boys who live with mom and dad. Okay, that's right. She's on
it,
across the pond somewhere. Australia.
no, okay. I saw this
Park.
story.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
too young. Got well. Let me see if I don't know if I got it saved or not. Was there an article I read or was it a video? All right, so it's two younger guys, and
Mhm.
they went in and they were gonna hold this couple for like ransom and demanded crypto, and their uh
Mm.
their son ran hid somewhere. He ends up calling 911. One of the boys runs off. One assaults the husband, from what I can remember. And they don't fit the MO for this case. They're
No,
not.
no. I think this is a different one that
It
what
is a
Farkey
different.
was talking about.
It is a different. No, if he's talking about the two young boys that went in there, like a whole different case. Where is that case at though?
Australia.
Oh, then it's not. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's not the one we were talking about.
yeah, I mean, so that would indicate that Nancy's house. They went there because that was the wrong house. Because
No, I think they're just talking about what happened over there.
he said, but they had the wrong person. Oh, I get it.
Mhm.
But when you talk about theories, it could have happened. And Nancy is what I'm. That's uh,
Oh.
that's where I was talking about a while ago. But this, and I didn't know what that. I didn't know what you were talking about because there was a case close by, close enough
Mhm.
by that involved the two boys. It was a whole kidnapping crypto thing, but those boys don't fit what happened to Nancy. And so then I was trying to figure out what this case y'all were talking about, how would it pertain? But okay, it's in Australia. I'm following you now.
Yeah.
Then yeah,
Yeah, the one we were
I mean,
talking about, they were close. They were there was an adult in the house that was able to call 911. while they invaded the house. I believe it's the same one.
The which one? The
The one that we
Australian
were
one
talking
or
about. No,
the one
no,
I
the
was
other one.
talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I just the article I read or video I watched said their son. I don't know how old their son was, grown man or
Yeah.
teenage boy or whatever. I could have read it wrong. I have no clue. But
Yeah, I think they said
I
adult
just
son is the
yeah,
one it
I
called.
just read a
So.
little bit about it and saw the suspects.
Mhm.
It just doesn't fit. No more
Yeah, I don't think
robbery
so
gone
either.
wrong. Because that's like it's crazy because none of the experts can even agree on a theory at this point. I mean,
Mm-mm.
not a theory. Well, they can't really agree on a theory either, but a profile, right, of who could have done this, like
Right.
profile of the person at the door, because they're basing that profile off theories based on why he was at the door. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
if it's a robber at the door, well, here's the profile that fits a robber. And
Yeah.
but he appears to be a more elaborate robber or whatever the right word is, technical word for that is, you know, or if they're gonna let kidnapping come back into the conversation, high level criminal. But then we go back to robbery, right? Because they can't give you another explanation for why the guy would be at the door if we aren't willing to entertain kidnapping, right? A lot of them aren't. I'm talking about the experts.
Mhm.
Approach
And that he's not a smart guy because he was trying to cover it with leaves and.
Well,
Mm.
so with that said, is that the only thing that they see that makes them think this guy is not smart? Is that the only thing
Mhm.
people see in that whole entire whatever, however long seconds that thing is that we get to see? Other than that, we know nothing about this person or what else they were doing around that house. All we
Right.
see is that couple seconds on the porch, some stuff with the vines that's debatable, and that's it. So
Yep.
based on that and the weird stuff with the vines, he was labeled dumb criminal.
Mhm.
That's my
But
perception.
yet nobody can find her. So how
Right.
dumb would he be?
Well, it depends that they perceive him as trying to cover the camera with the bush that
Yeah.
makes no sense, then fine, they're not going to get past it. But if they entertain the idea that he could have been doing something else with the vine, that might change their opinion on their theory about the person.
Mhm.
Because you chalk them
Exactly.
up for being stupid because you thought this, but if you think that it could be this, would it change your opinion about the guy at the door?
Yep.
It's then if you go, well, it's still a kidnapping or robbery, attempted robbery, I should say, that went terribly wrong. So we got a criminal that at least has done criminal things before. That wouldn't be their first time. It might be their first time committing a whole ass kidnapping because it wouldn't have been planned.
Right.
It would have been just a robbery planned, but went south or
When
whatever.
they, yeah, you think they would have left more clues in that case because they weren't prepared.
Wouldn't have been as prepared to take a person out without
Mhm.
leaving more evidence that
Right.
of that act. Absolutely, you're right. You would think because we're saying he wasn't prepared at the door with the camera. Probably not as prepared as he should be, and I don't know why. I don't know what the answer to that is because he tried to remove it with his hands before he went and grabbed the
Mhm.
brush, and I don't know if he thought the entire time, "I couldn't get that off with my hands. I can do" it didn't plan for anything but that,
Right.
and then it didn't
That it
work.
was it was just gonna snap off for some reason, and
I
it didn't.
guess. I've never been, like, up close and personal all over a Nest Cam like that. I have never expected it to see how well it's put together and how easily that little thing would pop out of there, none of that. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I can only assume, especially if we're to believe that one image, right, was possibly taken before the night
Right.
we saw the video, the backpackless, gunless photo. Um,
Mhm.
if we're to believe that was a prior night, like surveillance, then he knew the camera was there. So he should have been prepared for it. We can't think two things are the same thing at the same time because we were told this is, well, everybody assumes this is a different night because
Right.
the moon is not bright. There's no, obviously the first thing we all know, no backpack, no gun, right off. There's none of that. So what's happening with that and why? My first thought when we saw these when they got released, that one image was in the mix with all the rest of this stuff, right? And
Mhm.
I was like, what was this? An AI attempt? And we didn't get the eye holes even? Where are they at?
And now it look weird.
It did, didn't it? Like even in this image, we, if I can make it larger, we don't, is it the lighting, the way he's standing? It's like we cannot see this dude's eyes, nose, nothing. Not like we
And
can
it's
in these images. I
I'm
get it.
just wondering how she would not have gotten notifications if these weren't that night, that she wouldn't have seen
Yeah,
them.
everybody's asked that same question, and I don't have an answer because I don't have these cameras. But I do
Yeah,
know
I have Ring, I don't have, and I have a subscription, so I
people
don't
that
know.
talk about like uh, dolphin, like the do the nature, right? She'll get an
Mhm.
alert in picture of an image of what was out there. But I think I can't.
Mhm.
She had the subscription. I thought I don't know. We were talking about it one night for so long, but
Well, because
everybody.
when I got my Ring and you get the trial and then it expires, I didn't get the subscription right away. But I would before I got the subscription, I was still getting notifications, and you could still see who was at your door, who showed up on the screen when you got the notification.
And you would think that if Nancy absolutely got a notification like that, right, that she would tell
Mhm.
her children, "Hey, I woke up. This was on my phone." Even if you call the police and there's like, all we can do is take a report and note this, make a report, and it'll be in the file. So then
Right.
you would think at that point the kids would beef up security if that happened.
Mhm.
Masked man at mom's door, what? Right? And we don't know who it is. So you would have, I would be full on guard at that point. I don't know what to make of that because they won't give us a
Me
time.
either.
And the timestamp issue doesn't, it's nothing to do with nanos. All he did was
Mm-mm.
make it worse. He just made it messy as usual. The FBI released those images and the video without the timestamp. They're the
There
ones,
has to be a timestamp that they just haven't released it.
why they
What am I thinking?
wouldn't is beyond me. Everybody in true crime knows the first thing you do when a body cam comes out or anything like that is you look for the time and date. That's the first thing you do. We got
Yep.
to verify what we're looking
Mhm.
at. Don't come show me a weird video. Excuse me. Date time, please.
The
Receipts.
first questions we ask.
Yeah. So we don't know why the FBI does what they do. I couldn't tell y'all. I've been trying to figure it out
Yeah.
for years, but they're the ones who did that. Like, I don't know if they absolutely genuinely couldn't recover that information or if there's a reason they withheld it. I don't know why they would withhold a timestamp when the sheriff gives us a 147 timestamp of a Ring doorbell camera disconnecting. And we get a 212 data point here on the timeline of motion detected. So obviously something's happening with cameras somewhere.
Mhm.
So what
Right.
did it hurt to throw a timestamp on it? You didn't show me anything other than the guy at the door. You didn't show me Nancy being led from her home.
Yeah.
So it would have been pointless to hide the damn timestamp. But it's that kind of stuff right there that throws a curveball in a case on the internet. Period.
Yep.
Like those little
Mhm.
things right there.
And it did. It
Oh,
did.
you'll get a case so hung up so fast, it's not even funny. That's why a lot of this
Mhm.
stuff with that guy anymore, first, like, well, obviously, the dude never made no sense. It was we were gonna always get that out of him. I never
Mhm.
I didn't expect much more on day 3 of crying. Like, first it was a one-off, "Okay, well, everybody's telling me I should feel for you because 'cause you're empathetic, sheriff." Turns out my gut was right. You should
Mhm.
than that, right? I get you
Yep.
Might have been
Yeah,
emotional.
we called it pretty quickly.
Get on out there, dude. So today they had electrical companies back out at Nancy's property, and there was three different employees out there, and they were on the roof for quite a while working. And I don't know if they're continuing to beef up security in some way. I don't know
Right,
what's left to do that they haven't done already. They install all those new cameras. They've had the locks all changed out. Um, who knows what else they've done, right?
right.
They got the security guy that goes by there and stuff. So yeah, they were there again today doing that work, and I don't know what they were doing that for. It's it's wild that it's not the crime scene anymore, right? I mean, it's always going to be the scene of where she was.
Mhm.
But even like with the King Roadhouse in Idaho drew so much attention. Like Nancy Grace she put a whole desk out there on the road and filmed from there, right? And it just took a long time for the media to die out. In front of the laundry household, all of that stuff was going down, right? That they just, I don't know how long it will last in front of Nancy's, before
Yeah.
they grow tired of being out there, or just the a lot of the mainstream all have had to move on. And
Yeah,
it
well,
was
it's gonna start getting hotter and hotter and hotter, so I don't know how much they'll be able to tolerate.
that's true. Yeah, because I don't think, a lot of the mainstream media people began to pull out when Nanos pushed them back out of the neighborhood. But at the
Mhm.
same time, there wasn't a whole lot getting ready to come down, especially with the FBI heading back out to Phoenix and all the things that were happening, and the internal team going down to a few guys here in Tucson, right? And all the things. And that's what they wanted. They knew it would. The news cycle is the news cycle. It is what it is. It's
Yeah.
it's gonna always keep going. Um,
Mhm.
Nothing we can do to stop that train, but it's just there's not a lot of them left out there. But what's left out there is not there's no news from there left to report at this point, except we can see what happens on a day to day. And
Yeah.
so we are seeing a couple of workers show up and do some things to fortify the home.
Yeah.
Now, what was it yesterday? A car did show up over there. Actually, I think what happened was they were there either overnight, or they got there long before any of the YouTubers got there early in the morning, because they've been sitting there for a while. And there was a car that pulls up, and it was like
Mhm.
a security guy. He goes and he checks the mail, he does the things, he goes in the two front doors with a key. A little bit later, the garage door opens. Nancy's car backs out. Another car backs out. That's two cars that were in that garage the whole entire time.
Oh, wow.
Then the white car leaves and goes one way out the driveway. Nancy's car leaves and goes the other way. And
When
they're
did
all,
her car come back? Haven't been watching the dailies.
could not tell you when they got that car back and all the things, but
Hmm.
everybody was just like, oh, that was Cameron in the car. Like, who knows? But give them a little bit of privacy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because the conversation that was happening after that really was crazy.
Mm.
It
I
got
can imagine.
it got crazy. Um, Things are being discussed like what to do with Nancy's home, what to do with Nancy's car. And I'm thinking, what do you mean, what to do with it?
It's none of their business. That's crazy.
First
None of
off, your
them.
business. Second off, there's nothing cold on this case yet. What are you doing? Well,
Right.
why are you having that weird ass conversation in front of the lady's home? On top of that, you disrespectful
Right.
fucking twat. I mean, come on, you know. It took, oh my god, it took all I had, and then we're just hearing more and more
I
and
didn't
more.
see that.
Bizarre,
Except the one I told you about.
what?
The one that said they need to hurry up and make an arrest so I can move on already.
Was that the one on Twitter you saw? Or
Mm-hmm.
oh, somebody, yeah, they're like tired of seeing everybody talk about the case. Was that the one?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
but yeah, them dumbasses. Like I said, them people. It, there's a lot of people out there throwing a lot of floating theories, right? And that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, we've talked about so many different theories here.
Right.
But coming up there and making up theories and putting out names, I mean, my
Right.
God, it's like, whoa, whoa, wait, what are you doing there? Um, that's insane to me. And that was been happening, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it happened again just yesterday. And I was floored. I was like, and because I saw the clip on Twitter, right? Or I wouldn't have known. Um, it's it's just wild that it's come
Yeah.
to that point where that's all that's left. That I mean, it's been happening, right? And you can get into that one
Mm-hmm.
chat and you see the comments and you uh, wow, that's society, or a
Yeah.
large chunk of it, right? And it's a little off-putting. Um,
Well, I mean, they're talking about it like it's just a reality show, and like
that's
they
true.
need to hurry up, and the script needs to be. Like, no, this is a person's life that we're still a missing. It's a missing person who could possibly not be with us anymore, and you're talking about it like it's freaking, I don't know, NCIS or something. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
like it's more of an entertainment show versus an actual missing 80
Mm-hmm.
lady. Yeah, and even trying to keep the focus on Nancy when we played that what we had here, what was he showing? Um, it's a video we found that had a lot about Nancy in it. Remember, we watched it to try to get to know Nancy a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
then people were posting. I posted that picture to Twitter that from her bedroom, and now people can see a little bit more of her. But the conversation moved back toward Nancy a little bit. It's not that it's like Savannah overshadowed it. It's like the conversations and there's not real conversations happening in some of the places about the case, right? There's just the blah 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 of it all, and
Mm-hmm.
oh my god, it's just like a bunch of I just like slow down and breathe, everybody, and take a moment, you know? It's maddening enough, and I always say these cases don't need the extra because sometimes they've already got all the extra.
Right.
Right? And this is one of those cases because we don't know anything or just don't have anything. It is so
Mm-hmm.
wild to think about and like that. Um, now today, interestingly enough, and I know I sent you the link and it's like, check this out. This was a little earlier. Let me see if I got this right, if I can remember it straight in my head. Okay, so what is the two guys that are out there like filming live like JLR does? There's one called
The dad's gone live.
the Dad's Gone Live guy.
Mhm,
There's
mhm.
another one, the guy on the motorcycle, Jim.
Him, Jim. Yeah, it's a different separate guy. Yeah.
They're out there today doing their thing, and one takes off, and one, I think Jim was near Annie's. Oh, I didn't.
Mhm.
Maybe I have to go to Twitter and get them because I did not upload them. And then the Dad's Gone Wild guy. I don't even know where he was at, to be honest. I don't know if he was near Annie,
JLR called him and said he was 30 minutes away. So I don't know how
from
many
where,
miles.
Nancy's area.
Yeah.
Oh, I know he lives in Tucson Rock. I'm saying I don't know where he was at today, right? When I'm going to show what happened. So he was in an area today, but I could not pinpoint where, like close to Annie's, close to Nancy's. You said he was talking to JLR on the phone. JLR was at Nancy's, and Dad's Gone Live was like a half hour away.
That's what he said. He goes, I would have gone out to you, but it said you were 30 minutes away.
Yeah, because I didn't go like rewind and go back to try to figure out
Mhm.
where he was at.
Yeah.
So when Jim was out on the motorcycle ride, he ran across a pair of pants. Was it? Pair
Mhm.
it looked like ladies' khaki pants, and I think that somebody said a knee brace, but I never saw a photo of a knee brace. Did you? I just saw a
No.
picture of a dirty pair of pants. I don't know if the cops were called for those items or not. Did you ever see?
I saw JLR posted that they alerted authorities, but I don't know what happened after that.
Okay, because the difference about it, and they also, that guy touched them. He had on gloves,
Mm,
like motorcycle gloves. It looked like, but he reached down. Yeah. Anyway, but the dad's gone live guy did the opposite, and I don't know any of these guys. I'm just telling you what I saw. So
right.
he goes down there wherever he was looking, and he sees a grave, but there's a cross that had been zip tied together, two sticks to make a cross, and there was like a sheet or a blanket hanging coming out from underneath the dirt. And he's like, whoa, and he just like backs off. He's like, what the hell? And so he ends up calling the police.
Hmm.
They come out, and Butterfly and I watched what happened, and they investigated it. Well, do you call it that, Butterfly? They dug.
Yeah, they dug with shovels. The
They
way
had
he explained it, I don't know if you heard after what he said when he came back.
Well, no, maybe you know heard more than I did. So when the he went and the cops show up, um, two of them, right? And they go down,
Hmm.
they all have a little conversation, and they unearth the dirt, and they pull. You can see them pull the blanket or sheet, whatever it was, back, and they discuss it a little bit more, dig a little bit more, and then they talk a little bit, right? And then they just end up
Hmm.
covering the sheet back up, and we were like, "What are they doing? Right? What are they? What's in there?"
Yeah.
So then he comes, so it's over, and then he comes back to the car to tell us what was happening, right? We could see it from his camera, but we couldn't hear what was happening. So go ahead,
Yeah.
Butterfly. Let us know what he said when he got back to his camera.
So he said that so they started digging. Well, first he said when he called it in and they showed up that the officer said, well, it's probably just someone's pet or something. So then he called his supervisor, and the supervisor told him to just look, like check to see what it could be, just to be on the safe side. So that's when he started digging. So of course we saw the sheet that was outside, and so he dug and he saw some rocks, and then he hit tree roots. So he said, well, it can't be beyond that because there's tree roots. So he said, what probably happened is whatever animals were out there, coyotes, javelinas, whatever, they pulled whatever carcass was buried out, and that's why you see the sheet outside of the grave. So there was nothing. There was no bones or anything. It was gone. Like they pulled the carcass away and took it.
Right,
So
like
there was nothing in the grave.
slid it from its blanket, like, but the top of the earth was all still there. That's weird, huh? But yeah, it was nothing. Well,
Like it kind of fell in, I guess, is what he was
yeah,
saying.
kind of like,
So,
but before they got there to dig, I saw it, and I don't know, it might have been a little bit, but it wasn't fell in. No. So
yeah.
at best, we got some sheets buried in the dirt because they did go all the way down. You could tell they hit, like, so they got to the
Mhm.
tree roots, she's saying, and never saw any remains, right, of any
No,
sort.
they
So
were taken away.
yeah, um, it'd be hard to believe that somebody would put Nancy in such a weird location in a shallow grave, even if they um, accidentally harmed her during a robbery, right? That's very sloppy. That well, a dumb guy at the door might do it because he panicked. Remember, the only reason why a
Mhm.
robber would take the lady versus the goods because they panicked, according to their theories. I'm just mine aren't relevant.
They don't hear us. They don't
I'm
hear
not the
us.
expert. I didn't stay at the Holiday Inn last night. I tried to stay in my Zen yesterday. Lord help
Yeah.
us. Oh, oh, you're not me. Yeah, it's crazy, guys. What I see when I'm just sitting here chilling. And I'm like,
Just when you think you've
Lord.
seen it all, then there's somebody else that comes.
And a lot of times I'll see a clip on Twitter. There's this one guy that's like posts the shit out of one streamer's stuff, clips it and posts it like all day long.
Mhm.
So if you miss it, you're not gonna miss it, right? It's pretty crazy. Now,
Yeah.
earlier today, well, actually, right before we went live, I was just telling Butterfly about it, and I don't know. what all was said because I didn't watch it all. Been a lot of people walking up to certain creator out there, just saying whatever they want to say, right? Doing whatever they want to do,
Mhm.
throwing out their theories and they're different. Even it doesn't matter how intoxicated you are today, you are welcome to share. Well, there's a lady out there today who's got a table set up and she calls herself a parapsychologist. Um, and she's out there doing some sort of reading, a remote viewing session. And she said something about getting
Hmm.
set up, wanting to like do a serious session, and
Hmm.
JLR's like down to film it or whatever. I was like, I don't know
Ah.
what she was naming off streets and looking for, like she sees a pill bottle or something. I don't know. I didn't watch all, I don't know. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that's where a lot of this stuff comes from, guys. We're like that one fake video we watched, like that we can't. This stuff is out there, but it gets to be overwhelming when they start talking about what should the family do with Nancy's house.
Yeah.
What should they, it's gonna cost them a fortune to do that, and you're like, wait, whoa, slow
Like
your roll.
you're when did you become a part of the family that you're privy to those conversations? It's
Well,
just
thank you.
ridiculous.
The woman hasn't been declared dead, mind you.
Exactly.
Don't worry about how wealthy
Mm.
Savannah and her siblings will care for her mother's home. How
Yep.
dare you? Oh, look,
Mm.
sis, brother, we just need to sell this place. If mom comes back, we'll just buy her a new one. We don't want her here anyway. Like what? Mom might have something to say.
Right? It's
I don't.
ridiculous.
That
It's
is
crazy.
ridiculous. It's cray cray.
Like
Uh,
every day I look, I'm like, hey, what's new today?
okay.
What's new on the crazy meter?
Well, only thing new is we finally got a visual, somewhat, of Nancy Guthrie inside her own bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And when this dropped yesterday, I grabbed a picture and I put it
Yeah.
out on X. And then the one thing I noticed was this was back, what was it, 19? No.
It just made me more sad because she just looks so happy.
Yeah, she's a very easygoing, happy-go-lucky kind of person, I feel like, and
Yeah.
a lot of the videos we have seen of her, her natural self is
Mhm.
like that. Um, but so we got a video that's attached with this, and what they were doing was making a make your bed segment or something on the Today Show.
Mhm.
And I forgot what year this was. It's several years back.
Yeah.
So we don't know if Nancy changed anything about that bedroom
Right.
since this photo was taken. And Megan Kelly's one of her theories is because she's the one that aired the video. Her team found it over from the Today Show during their research. So she's like, no, if you were a would be kidnapper writing a would be ransom letter and you say, well, this and that is on the nightstand next to the bed. And here's how you know I was in that house because this is also there. Could it be based on what they saw in this image or that video? Yeah, it could. But what if Nancy changed things since,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
What if the plant
My thought
stand,
exactly.
yeah, the plant stand could be a little different with different, it's probably still got plants on it. Um, the lamp could be a different lamp today.
Her whole room, bedding, everything could be different. Could have decided
What,
to
yeah,
reorganize the room
could
at
be
that.
different. Now, when the video plays, I think I got it saved. You can almost tell this room is not super large, and I'm assuming it's got a bathroom, but see where the window is over there.
Mhm.
So if you're standing at the foot of that bed, or if you're on that bed and you're looking toward the wall, that's where that sliding glass door would be that led to
Mhm.
the patio. And then this window's the first window on the side of the house, and then there's another window behind it down on the side of the house back there. I'm assuming that's probably another bedroom, right? Number
Right.
because there's more than one bedroom in this house.
Mhm.
She raised a whole family in this house. Let me see if we got the video.
Okay.
Um,
I'll be right back.
okay, let me. Oh, go ahead and I'll get this set up. I've seen a lot of the experts questioning whether or not Nancy would have known the person at the door in some capacity. In passing, um, work through the house over the years, church somewhere, business somewhere. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that there was a chance that she knew this person, had ever interacted with this person, would have recognized this person, maybe even? Let me see if this was it. Yeah. Okay, let me get it set up right where it needs to be so we don't have to watch all of this video here. Okay. Okay. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, just in time. Just got it queued up, ready to go. Okay. So here's the video.
My mom is up early in Tucson, Arizona. Nancy Guthrie joins us now. Hi, Mom. Good morning.
Hi, Savannah.
Well,
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Mom. Good morning. I see that you've already made your bed, even though it's 3 a.m. there or whatever.
Exactly.
Mom, why was this an important skill to teach me?
Well, I think everybody needs to know how to make a bed, and so when the time came to teach you guys how to make a bed, this is what I tried to teach you
now,
anyway.
This is not just your standard bed making. This is the hospital corners bed making. We're talking you can bounce a quarter off of it, right, Nancy?
Natalie, don't put me to the test. It's way too early.
She's backing off.
Nancy, I just want to know how difficult Savannah was when you tried to teach her this. How much screaming and stomping her feet was involved?
All three of the kids thought it was a really worthless skill.
How do we do
All right, so, Mom, first you show everybody how to do it, okay? And then you can judge how we do it.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Well, basically, since my bed's already made, the most important thing you have to do is to make sure this top sheet is really pulled in here tightly, because that's going to give you your smooth corner.
And the tuck under.
Then you pull this over, and you make kind of like a triangle,
I remember
with your
that.
top sheet.
Don't get started yet.
And then,
I'm not getting started. When do you make
and
the
then you tuck
triangle?
it under as tightly as you can. But here's the little skill. See this nice corner?
Yeah.
You want to make sure that's as tight as can be.
Okay.
You tuck it in.
And you can keep cookies in
Then when
there.
you sleep, there you go.
And then,
So
Mom,
when you sleep in the middle of the night, it doesn't pull out.
All right.
That's because
Oh, there.
for
That's
David,
all
this
right.
would be
He's
a
pulling
toy
it up.
bed.
That's
So that's not a huge room. You know what I mean? It's not like this big spacious room. So if someone entered through that sliding glass door, they're going to be on her in no time.
And she might not. She probably wouldn't hear it without her hearing aids.
And even if she did hear something, her reaction time,
Mm-hmm.
what is she going to do? Is she going to make it up out of that bed and go to defend herself when she's waking up startled, hearing a noise? Now you got to get up. Where's my cane? You know, all the things.
Mm-hmm.
You got a big, strong guy at the front door. We don't know how he got in there. But either way, if he came through her bedroom door, sliding door, it wouldn't take long to be on her. Right? And this space between the bed and the window, getting her up, getting her ready, getting her out of that room, all these things. And to think that, you think that your safest place is at home.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't always have cameras. So, I know that everybody's like, really get the cameras, get the subscriptions, but that alone's not going to save you.
Mm-mm.
Some people can
That's
care
for
less.
after the fact.
Yeah, that's for after the fact. That's not going to deter people from coming into your home.
Yeah.
Some of them don't. How many ring cam footage have we seen over the years, and we see criminals are still right there at it? They don't care.
Yeah.
They just know to cover their face better.
Yep. That's
Take
very
the
true.
camera, take the camera with them. But that's wild to get an image finally of what it may have been like in there, and then just brings it home for what she might have felt in there, and being rushed out of your home, regardless of who was there and why he was there. You're here to take me out of my house, and that is probably the worst fear, right?
Out of
especially
your sleep when you're dead asleep, and mm,
in women who live alone. It's a very different. I don't know if women who live with a man, because I don't live with a man, I haven't for years. Uh,
mhm,
I there's not. That's the only thing about not having a man in the house is different. Like
right,
that might be a good thing. Is there's not somebody bigger and stronger than me, right? It's just
right,
little old me. So that's why I always had a dog. But oh, now I
mhm.
have this weird cat. But okay. Um, she might defend me. I don't know. It's a toss up.
Just throw her at him.
I was right. That will get her going. I was telling Butterfly, oh, this cat has got mood swings. I'll tell you what. Mm,
Giving you a run for your money.
she needs to. I don't know what she needs. I think, well, I'm going to get her one of those tree thingies that people talk about.
Mhm.
Like those, my, her actual owner, my son, he's getting her a tree thingy. I was like,
And toys and keep her busy.
yeah, she's got these little toys and stuff, but she needs the tree thing. Maybe
Yeah.
that'll keep her a little more occupied, especially late night when I actually do want to go to sleep. And she's like, "Oh no, what are you doing? Get up!" All right.
I
So
slept all day. What are you talking about?
nothing will too. But I'm used to my dog sleeping at night, not this cat. But like, it's time to play. It's time to do weird things. So the other night or yesterday, when I was just kind of like chilling, I went ahead and I made a couple things to keep back here for when we're discussing the case. I'm going to be uh, probably putting a show together for the weekend to really go kind of in depth about some things about passive travel, different things to look into. We're going to maybe get a guest or two up here with us. This is just a timeline from what we know from authorities, right?
Mhm.
So we've got Saturday, starting with Nancy taking the Uber over to eat at Annie's, and then getting back home 9:50, going into the garage, moving into Sunday at almost 2 a.m. And it's just crazy. And then we saw how much law enforcement was in the area, right? Even after
Mhm.
when the feds finally got there and was able to get on boots on the ground, just the amount of law enforcement presence that seemed to turn up absolutely nothing. That went nowhere. The leads we thought they had, the
Mhm.
2 houses being raided, the the Walmart backpack, the 40 names on a list, what going around to the gun shops, DNA on a glove 2 miles away. Oh, wait, no, we got DNA mixture. Oh, wait, now we got DNA on the glove was a restaurant worker, and I'm like, I'm still wanting to know, how do you know that? How did
Right.
you determine that glove from 2 miles away contained the DNA of a random restaurant employee? How do you know that? Was the name of the restaurant tattooed onto the glove? How do you know it was his DNA? How'd you know to go look for him and ask him, "Can we take a swab and compare you to make sure? Because our tree says you're the guy."
Right.
It's the only way you got him. Somebody on Twitter was saying something about, well, they probably went around just collecting DNA. Like, so you're saying they went to all the restaurants and collected DNA from employees to compare to all these random gloves to rule them
And
all
it
out.
all came back already?
That's illegal to start with.
Yeah.
Okay, you just don't get to walk up to a
Yeah.
bunch of restaurants and say, "I need all y'all's DNA because we found a
Mhm.
random glove on the side of the road somewhere. May or may not have."
Far away from the crime scene.
They're all gonna line up and say, "Sure, swab me." They're gonna have them few guys that just sliding off to the back, right? Like,
Mm.
shit, this is some kind of sting operation going down. They're
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So
If
I'm
you got a
I'm
bet,
curious.
go
Oh, go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I was just like, if they got a better idea how they got to that guy,
Right.
the DNA person, no, it's exactly how they got to him.
Mhm. Because they said it didn't show up in CODIS, right?
Right.
So yeah, so he didn't
Somebody
have a
challenged me on that on Twitter
right.
too. I was like, here, and I was like, nope. It's like link. I'm like, here you go.
Mhm.
No match in CODIS. They
Yeah.
had perfect. Come on, a glove that was on a hand, a glove removed from a hand. There was good DNA in that glove.
Mhm.
We got a solid sample. They were not in CODIS, which how did they even get it into CODIS is still the question.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh yeah, that
but
too.
yeah, but no match there. Shh. Okay, wait. No, wait. It's a restaurant employee. Well, how the hell do y'all know that?
Right.
Lucky guess? Like Nanos had a big map of all the restaurant employees in town. It's like throw a dart and which one it smacks is the
But this is what's crazy. Everyone happened to find out who who they picked up, that Luke person and Carlos, but nobody happens to know and Doug to find out who this restaurant employee is.
he doesn't pertain to the case. No. Maybe people have to try to get an interview to see what were the questions they asked you. How did they rule you out? I'm sure there are particular ones who are trying and maybe haven't succeeded yet. You know what I'm
Or
saying?
is that just bullshit coming from Nanos?
What, that they were cleared?
No, that they found a person that matched the glove. Like,
Oh,
is that
no,
even
that's not,
real? Is
no,
what I'm saying.
he ain't making that shit up. They really found the restaurant worker. Okay, but they used IGG to get there. I know that. But I wouldn't put it past Brian Enton to be trying to interview somebody like that, right?
Yeah.
What did they say when they came to you? Like, that's right up Enton's alley. And I'm waiting on it because I want
Mhm.
to know too. So I mean, I don't think the guy's just going to run out to this media and go like, "Hey, I was the guy with the glove." A lot of people they don't want that publicity. Not everybody wants to be seen and heard
Right.
in that way. Um,
I just found it weird that they happen to find, like, you see all these people's names and
well,
faces and
well,
their
the
whole history out there, and then this
okay, well
one
well,
person.
you're talking about YouTube streamers.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you why. Because that that's not on their radar.
Yeah.
That DNA in that glove is nowhere on their radar, and this random person they know nothing about they got to hear a name, they got to hear a something. That's a whole. mm, I could
Yeah.
explain the whole thing, but yeah, it's hard to do that without like starting some stupid ass
Yeah.
war with.
Nah, it's okay. It's okay. I get it.
Yeah, I
But what
mean,
I was gonna say is, okay, so I have a
it
question
may
for
concern
you.
people like us and a mainstream media personality, right?
Mhm.
Or if, like, if this was example Idaho 4 case, people thought, well, that's one of your suspects. They would be all over it trying to figure it out. But that's on nobody's radar right now because it just isn't. So that's why they're
Yeah.
not, trying to figure it out. Nothing juicy there to say.
So I have a question. Do you
Yeah.
think, because you know how the first day, how Nano said he called off the search when they found the blood on the front porch?
I don't remember why he said they called off the search, to be honest
He
with you.
said he said because it was now considered a crime scene
Oh, well,
rather than
yeah,
a missing person.
but he
So my
never
question, oh, go ahead.
but he never said the blood was why he switched to crime scene till after Enton found it and he was confronted about it. But you were right. He said they were going to doing a little search, but they called it off because he switched to a crime scene. So what about that?
So do you think that time between then and then when the FBI came in, do you think that hindered the case or affected them
Yeah,
finding her?
yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because everything that Nanos didn't do in those first few critical hours, because a lot of time passed between the time she actually left that home
Mhm.
and the time it was reported. You had already lost so many critical hours to
I
get
agree.
away, far away. and then you're losing more time now because he don't know what he's doing from the get-go. That blood would they didn't just happen to find the blood after they began to conduct a search for a lady who they knew probably didn't wander off by her family's own
Mhm.
account. So, well, we're gonna go search just in case she did wander. Oh wait, y'all found blood out front? Like, no, what? No, dude,
That
your
shouldn't
whole
that shouldn't have been the reason that he called it off. He shouldn't have called it off. They should have
well,
still.
I mean, look, the thing about doing foot searches when somebody goes missing, right? Like, oh, that dog's outside barking at my window. Y'all hear him? I don't know.
Mm-mm.
Depending on the circumstance, there was evidence. It looked like that she was taken from that property from the get go.
Right.
I don't know what. I don't know how, if he could have done a 5 mile foot search, just like Sebastian Rogers. I don't think it would have mattered. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
I just don't think it would have mattered. They wouldn't have found all them gloves because all the time wouldn't have passed to throw them all out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We could have avoided a lot of that freaking hot mess, couldn't we?
Yeah.
But you're
Yeah.
right, though. There, we don't know that she wasn't close to that house still. We don't know
Mhm.
that they didn't toss her out of the car and let her roll off the side of the road into the cactus. You don't know what a panicking person's doing,
Mhm.
right? We have no clue what just
That and the helicopter when he didn't allow him to.
Well, he let the helicopter go up, but it was that search plane, remember, that he
Yeah.
wouldn't let go up that had all the
Right.
capabilities on it. And the helicopter didn't have any of those capabilities, so it was limited. But what you didn't know what you were looking for other than a lady, like no car of interest, no person. We didn't know about the
Mhm.
guy at the door at that point. Um, so getting the plane up with the nighttime capabilities, right? With the infrared and all of that, they could have seen Nancy out there. Say she got injured during a robbery that got her a head injury,
Mhm.
and she did wander away.
Right.
There was an old, there's an old act. It's a real true crime story, and it was one of my favorite ones on Forensic Files. I think it was. I've seen it so many times.
Mhm.
The man, okay, somebody entered the house and they shot him in his head in the bed, but it did not kill this man.
Oh
So
wow.
he had a routine of getting up every morning, right, at the same time, going out the
Mhm.
side door from the kitchen to get the newspaper. This dude got up at the normal time and went out and got that newspaper. And they know that because of the blood trail. He was still
Oh
bleeding.
wow.
He gets the newspaper and he goes back into the house and he puts it on the table and he sits down, right? And all
Mhm.
this, and this man lived through this whole ordeal. Anyway, he had
Wow.
surgeries and different things, but you can, head injuries will cause a lot of weird things to happen.
Mhm.
So it was not far fetched to say that, well, we saw the blood too.
Right.
Did she come to her door and find a man there and injury happened and they ran off and she got up when she came to and she stumbled away? They wouldn't have known because they didn't take the plane up to go look.
Mhm.
It took several hours to get the plane up. They
Yep.
eventually did go up with it, but they still lost a lot of critical time when too much time had already passed.
Right.
And the fact that this area seemed to have really relaxed camera system all over town is a problem, you know?
Mhm.
I think a lot of cities are gonna find they have the same problem.
I think we do here too.
Yeah.
And we're a big city.
Well, especially the bigger cities, because the cost behind maintaining the ones that do record and the storage behind that, how long do you
Yeah.
keep it and all these things, is we all fought Big Brother, and now it's like Big Brother's not good enough, right? Um, it depends on what you're using Big Brother for.
Right.
It's that stuff y'all use it for that we don't, FBI, you don't want us to know about that, on the down low.
And some cities don't want flock cameras. I think that was the kind of the case there as well, from what I
It-
remember.
and what's it doesn't hurt to have them this day and age with the all shit. Road rage was like a thing for a long time.
Mhm.
Like you couldn't go anywhere without road rage incidents happening all over the country. It's like epidemic.
Still is.
Yeah.
Now it's
It
guns.
it was really bad though for a while there. It's like when
Yeah.
one thing starts to happen that's like carjackings, it was a thing for a while, then it was no more. And same thing with that, I feel like there's things like that that come through, and that was just another one of them. But I don't know. I just feel like so much critical time was lost, so much critical evidence was lost as
Mhm.
well. And we're going to talk about like this right here, right? Um,
And that damn rug.
that damn
For
rug. I
everybody
knew
mad
she.
about that
That's why
damn
I
rug.
That's why I brought it up. I like it when she gets fired up. I was like, I was gonna get her fired up. I bring up this one picture, um, because that rug being left there, right? She's right. That damn rug is like the thorn in her side. We all get that one thing in the case. That's gonna be Butterfly's one thing in this case,
Mhm.
and for real, very good reasons. You want to fill everybody in? I'll let you have the floor, ma'am. I'm gonna get fresh coffee. She's like, do I gotta really? They're here for it, Butterfly. They're here for it.
Blood, saliva spilled from that stupid mouth light he had. I mean, you name it. It could be on that carpet.
And remember when you mentioned earlier about the footprints? We're talking about footprints like in the
Mhm.
blood. Remember when I mentioned the gravel drive?
Mhm.
What if there was a shoe impression on that rug from the damn gravel drive, right? Like, however minor, it could have been there.
Right.
And like you said, the saliva, because not that I think he drooled onto the mat, but you had your gloves on, right? Were you
Well,
touching
he
your
he
mouth
still
like
he could have drooled on the map because
well, he
you
could
think
have.
of you having
You're
something in your
right.
mouth,
Well,
and
yeah,
it's hard to swallow if you have something like that in your mouth.
I
So
get it.
if he's not paying attention and he's trying to get a hold of Miss Nancy, and he looks down,
Like when they
what
came
could
out,
drip?
when they were coming out of the house doing their
Yeah.
and I do get that. He could have drooled, absolutely. But also,
Mhm.
when he's touching that damn
Yep.
vine, he's got that saliva on his hands from his flashlight maybe. This little
Touch the door.
vine, and the vine is now on the carpet, on the rug too. So there you go. You got part of your damn vine landed on the patio, part of it landed on the actual rug, and then
Mhm.
his saliva could have been on either the rug itself or the damn vines, and that was just left there. We know they
Yep.
sampled the blood because he finally confirmed. Well, you know what's weird? Because when Ashley Banfield reports there's blood in the house, it appears to match this type of spatter. Um, he says when he was approached with, "Oh, there's blood on the front porch, Sheriff," then he comes back with, "Oh yeah, well that is how we determined that was Nancy's blood. We did. Well, what about the inside blood that he will not confirm? Was that also Nancy's?
Mhm.
Was there really blood in there? You know, I'm sure no matter which rooms you're testing all the blood you find, right?
Yep.
Not just the one
And you
outside.
take the damn rug with you.
I wonder how many. I wonder who was
Rugs were in the house that they
who
didn't take.
who was the first officer or investigator to walk up to Nanos and say, "We should have took the damn rug."
Mhm. Did they take rugs from inside the house?
Probably
Now I'm
not.
questioning that.
Probably not. And I wonder who the first FBI agent was that walked up and said, "Y'all didn't do what?"
Right. Yep.
on, on the checklist 101 of a crime just committed, right? Y'all
I
didn't
mean,
do
shit, we know that, and we're not even law enforcement. I mean, for real.
well, going back to his little resume issue, and the him being a cop since a very young man, and the disciplinary problems he had. Like he had, God, I don't even remember what all I was reading about this guy's disciplinary stuff because he resigned from the force, right? What was it, El Paso? Mississippi?
El Paso, Texas.
Yeah, so that he couldn't get
We
fired.
don't want them.
Yeah, you're right. Butterfly's like, thank God that bastard gone. So
Texas don't want you.
he's got a history right? And now he's a
Mhm.
much older man, and he's all like, "I'm in my place," and "How dare y'all?" And I challenged the FBI one time. Damn it.
Ooh.
I was involved in Gabby Gifford's investigation.
What is
And
it? Standby?
right, and what about all this other stuff we're gonna learn here in a little bit about you, sir? You want us to believe all that's just a bunch of lies, right?
More fake credentials?
Yeah, I mean, you can only get away with that stuff for so long. Look, this dude's ruined his career overall. This whole thing is it's the fallout won't be good for him, and that's fine. We don't care. We don't care. Um, Squeaky Will, welcome in. When the initial cops showed up, they sent out search teams looking for her because they thought she'd, yeah, spent a whole.
Mhm.
They did. They searched around the neighborhood on foot and stuff. We were talking. Yeah, they did do that, but then they called it all
Cut
off
it off.
by Sunday evening, was it?
And that was what he said. Those were words out of his mouth,
Yeah,
not
but
us thinking.
was it
uh,
Sunday or Monday he called because he
yeah,
released
I
the scene
forget.
back to the family on Monday. Or no, was that Tuesday? See, I'm getting my days confused because we've covered this every day just about since then. Um, but yeah, so they did do a ground search, but it wasn't going to yield anything, which obviously it didn't. They didn't. I never believed she was still. Let me say, I don't believe she was left or discarded in her neighborhood. But did she ever leave the neighborhood is a whole other story.
Mhm.
We don't have a car of interest leaving that neighborhood or coming in. And I've seen the map. I know all the entry points in and all the red lights. How busy are these intersections? All the things, right? Because I can't sit there and not wonder how they got out of that neighborhood. Which route would I have taken, right? If I'm trying to pull off something and I don't want to be seen, but I need to get out of
Mhm.
Dodge ASAP, what would I do? Have you ever let yourself do that? Or is it like, I don't even know what I would do. I might, you know what I mean? Because you're not
Yeah.
supposed to know, right? We're not supposed to just know. So
Right.
you could imagine maybe,
Right.
um, versus just go, I don't know, they got into the neighborhood somehow. I'm more of a, well, how though, right? And yeah, they got in somehow, but how? Got out,
Undetected by anything.
right?
I
I need
mean, other people have cameras. There's also people with Teslas out there, but are they in garages and not out,
well,
on the road where it can catch anything?
I do not know.
Probably not.
I do not think I'm just not down with people's cars
Yeah.
videotaping me. I
Mm-mm.
the car
Right.
have a Tesla in Celeste case, and they don't, to this day, know what happened to that poor child.
Mm-mm.
So, I don't know what they think they can yield anymore from, hoping there's always a Tesla gonna be around, because there's
Yep.
not always gonna be a Tesla around. They're not as common as I think. I mean, maybe they are, like a lot of the different models that are out there, but I don't know, a lot of times they're gonna be garage kept too. They're not just gonna be chilling out in the driveway a lot of
Mhm.
wealthier homes
Yep.
be garage kept. It's gonna come down to your own personal security cameras at the house and your community doing things to help keep your community safe. And if you
Yep.
ever pushed back on Big Brother in the past, but now you're like, oh shit, we don't even got a good camera, maybe you should rethink it.
Do they have because we have what they call have you heard of Waymo?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have those out here, those autonomous vehicles.
Mhm.
I wonder if they have those out there.
I
And
don't
if
know.
they can find out if any were on the road around that time.
I haven't
I'm not sure
heard.
what
Uh-oh,
missing.
hang on.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I knew today's date was important. Okay. Something about that. Okay. All right. Okay, I'll get back to her later. All right. My dad went to the eye doctor today, so I was getting a report on him.
Mm.
They had to go out to Birmingham.
Oh, really?
Hmm He's been seeing specialists in Birmingham for his hearing and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think they ended up getting him a eye doctor over there or something. My sister was telling me the other day. They went to two different doctors, so they just went to the one and got back, and I just got an update. So
And speaking of eye doctors, I need to go get mine.
I know
Been putting it off.
I've been putting it off for 2 years now, to the point of like, man, I'm doing a number on myself. I gotta fix this.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at this photo, because there's the front entry, that mat's not real huge, but it's there, right? And like you
Mm-hmm.
said, when he first walks up, he's kind of to the left of it a little more, then he steps more to the right. He could have partially stepped down on that thing. I'm sure he did, especially
Yeah.
coming out the door, you
Well,
know.
remember when we were talking earlier, and I told you why there weren't any. I was wondering why there weren't any, like maybe footsteps, like if she walked across that blood. But now looking at this picture, I
Hmm.
could see why she wouldn't, because she would probably step on the rug to
Hmm.
bypass that.
Yeah, I remember when I was saying he would have been
If
to the
she
right.
bent over, yeah.
Right, because if they're coming out the door, her back is to the door, he would be to the right side of her. That's what
Mm-hmm.
my mind is thinking. If we're going by looking at this, right?
Yeah.
Because we were like, "Well, there's no footsteps in it," and then so we were talking about that, and when you see, here's another shot of the path. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the reason, well, let me get back to the.
And there was blood spots all along that.
They were more faint though. The further, because remember they had
Mm-hmm.
to like zoom in, they had to get close to the camera with the cam. I'm trying to move the picture. They were trying to, they had to get closer to this pathway with their camera for us to see all of that blood.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like a bunch of blood, it
No,
was
but you could see
drops. You
droplets.
could
Yeah.
see a few drops, but there was not a ton between the actual patio, the beginning of the sidewalk going
Mm-hmm.
down. It was like, you could see some, but it was very faint. Now,
Right.
when you and I were talking earlier, like even when you listen to Joe Scott Morgan and a few of them, the blood spatter experts and things of that nature, talk about the case, and they like, these are perpendicular droplets, 90-degree angles. Those smaller circles, that's what those are. And then that larger circle would be that one that even they agree it looks like a cough. But
Mm-hmm.
about my first impression of that was a cough too. But if I'm thinking about it like for real, and then if you go back to this, if Nancy's coming out that door and she's standing upright, what's the chance of that cough spatter like that? Given the height
Unless
to
she's
come down
bent
at.
over for some reason.
Well, but I'm talking about being straight upright though at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Standing upright, hey, it's got to travel all the way down. So that's a very
Mm-hmm.
tight little area right there. So, like you said, though, we all know she had a cane. We don't know if it was a hip issue, a knee issue, a back issue, whatever the issue was. If you don't have your device to help you along, say it was a knee, did her knee go down? Coming out that door, she's being rushed out the door. Did she go down to her knees, hands and knees, maybe even to produce that close to the patio, or maybe down on one knee and halfway between all the way down and standing upright? Do you know what I mean? That's what we just
Mm-hmm.
don't know. And Joe Scott even suggested that, based on the theory now, that there's a tarp inside that backpack. We do not know that. That's just an assumption made by experts who've seen what we've seen, right? Is that a tarp in
Mm-hmm.
the bag? So he says they probably rolled her up in a tarp in the house and carried her out. Two people, one at the foot, one at the head. And coming out the door, her head is somehow dislodged, falls to the side, producing the blood. But I'm like, well, first of all, why I got to wrap her up in a tarp for? What is everybody fixated on that for? Because that means they planned on having blood everywhere and didn't want it in the car or in the trunk or wherever they were doing with this person. So that changes things for me.
Mm-hmm.
And why carry her out wrapped up in anything if she can walk? Is she
Right.
going, "Willie, I need you to tie her up. Did you know you got let's go out the front door now, 2 people with a human wrapped up in a tarp." That won't be sus at all if somebody happens to pass by and see us.
Right. And I'm thinking when I hear somebody being wrapped up in a tarp, their head and everything is wrapped up in the tarp.
Why would they not wrap their face up?
Right.
And so
That's
I
how I picture it anyway.
me too. I mean, maybe you think it's easier to move the victim if we just roll them up. You grab one end, I grab the other, but don't suffocate her. We don't wrap her head up. Okay, maybe throwing her over the shoulder to carry her out the front door, picking her up like a baby. Maybe she couldn't get out the door quick enough for them. But that if you pick her up like that, why do I have blood coming down at a 90-degree angle? That's where I'm so
Mhm.
the spatter alone should tell them how she
So they
left.
would have to be standing there long enough for her to cough. Like it would be moving, don't you think? If she's coughing while she's over somebody's
While
shoulder.
moving, yes, it would be like a trail,
Right.
of a tail on it, basically, on the spots, the droplets. Um, we would see it's more like she was stationary, right? For at
Mhm.
least this episode or whatever this was. It's like I was wondering what would cause her to be stationary for a moment.
Holding on to the side of the door
Well, what if she went to go
to keep her
down, went to trip, went to fall? Any of that would have taken a
right.
moment, right? Even if she did
Mhm.
go down on one knee and there's whatever the injury was caused that, they get her back up and they're gone. Either way, we know it wasn't she was injured. Hawkeye says that NBC News has a new statement from the sheriff a few hours ago. No, I did not see that.
Mm-mm.
Did they say it on Twitter? Because I can look up let me hang on. There's no telling what he told NBC now. Let's see, latest. 3 hours ago. Oh, has he been listening to our theories, Hawkeyes? No way.
I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, let me okay, this is the girl that yeah, okay. So he's interviewing with NBC again. This was posted a couple hours ago. Okay.
Tonight, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos giving an update on the search for Nancy Guthrie nearly 6 weeks since her disappearance.
Do you think that this suspect could strike again? Whoever did this?
Well, absolutely. We believe we know why he did this, and we believe that it was targeted, but we're not 100% sure of that.
What's he talking about? Suddenly he thinks they know why it all happened. Oh my goodness, I got to play this again in a second.
And so it'd be silly to tell people, yeah, don't worry about it. You're not his target. Don't think for a minute that.
I'm sorry, my coffee. Ooh. Sorry, you're not his target. What, sir? Start over. Hold on. See, everybody's going to analyze you based on your goofiness, but I'm going to be listening to your words like I've been doing all along. Keep dropping stuff you don't mean to drop. Keep it up.
Tonight, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos giving an update on the search for Nancy Guthrie nearly 6 weeks since her disappearance.
Do you think that this suspect could strike again, whoever did this?
Well, absolutely. We believe we know why he did this, and we believe that it was targeted, but we're not 100% sure of that. And so it'd be silly to tell people, yeah, don't worry about it. You're not his target. Don't think for a minute that because it happened to the Guthrie family, you're safe. No, keep your wits about you.
We pressed Nanos about that potential motive.
There is something that's come out in the investigation that gives you a sense of motive here and why this person did this?
You know, I think it's come out from day one. I think from day one we had some strong beliefs about what happened, and those beliefs haven't diminished.
Do you believe it was a burglary?
From day one, he's been convinced it could have been. Sir, you was not convinced. Hold on.
Gone wrong?
I'm not going to get into those theories. We have our beliefs. Everybody else has theirs.
Nanos says he's intentionally withholding their theory and other details in the case, citing the integrity of the investigation. He confirmed investigators have been asking about potential internet issues the night of Nancy's abduction and said they're looking into the possibility a Wi-Fi jammer could have been used or if there was some other electrical disruption that night. The sheriff also says he's still hopeful the DNA found.
Nanos is getting clues from people on the internet.
Integrity. He has integrity.
No, he doesn't know that word. He just, well, he heard it one time and thought it sounded good.
In the home will lead to the suspect. Liz Kreutz, NBC News.
Okay, I gotta play everything he said over again. Fucker. Okay.
Tonight, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos giving an update on the.
Can you tell us this was targeted without telling me?
No.
No. Did we just not? Okay. This guy just told us what happened without telling us what happened.
Search for Nancy Guthrie nearly 6 weeks since her disappearance.
Do you think that this suspect could strike again, whoever did this?
Well, absolutely. We believe we know why he did this, and we believe that it was targeted, but we're not 100% sure of that. And so it'd be silly to tell people, don't worry about it. You're not his target. Don't think for a minute that because it happened to
this part right here, he is. Just like with Idaho, y'all are safe. No, you're not. No, you're not. Yes, you are. Nobody's safe until you have somebody in custody because nobody knows why the person was at the door. If they all knew the person was there to get Nancy because she was Savannah's mama, then the community don't have to worry about themselves. But he's got to say, oh, well, no one's arrested yet. But that's not what this motherfucker knows what happened. Investigators know what happened. They just don't know where they are.
Tonight, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos giving an update on the search for Nancy Guthrie nearly 6 weeks since her disappearance.
Do you think that this suspect could strike again, whoever did this?
Well, absolutely. We believe we know why he did this, and we believe that it was targeted, but we're not 100% sure of that. And so it'd be silly to tell people, don't worry about it. You're not his target. Don't think for a minute that because it happened to the Guthrie family, you're safe. No, keep your wits about you.
We pressed Nanos about that potential motive.
There is something that's come out in the investigation that gives you a sense of motive here and why this person did this?
You know, I think it's come out from day one. I think from day one we had some strong beliefs about what happened, and those beliefs haven't diminished.
Do you believe it was a burglary gone wrong?
I'm not going to get into those theories. We have our beliefs. Everybody else has theirs.
Nanos says he's intentionally.
So burglary is no longer one of your beliefs. Because you didn't mind going down the road a minute ago, targeted, possibly. But, hey, we got our theories. Y'all got y'all's. Burglary gone wrong. Y'all run with it. Because I didn't know what the hell was going on to the FBI to clued me in by accident. That's him talking, not me. I feel like any information.
He started fumbling over his words, just exactly what Hawkeyes was saying.
Well, that's to be expected. If y'all are surprised at this point that man is going to do that, I was apprehensive to even play this video because I don't want to. Man, he's just gets under your skin, right? Yep. He's gonna always have
he's like that damn rug,
right? And the more I find out about him, the more I dislike him and just want the little bad to go away. But every time he comes out, he says shit he shouldn't be saying.
Hawkeyes.
Every single time. This dude, Hawkeyes, this dude, man. I'm more honed in on he is not after you. We know what happened. Targeted. Like, dude, y'all know exactly what happened at that door. You may not be sure right at the moment if it was a kidnapping legit based on those first two letters, or if you got a stalker on your hands for whatever reason.
Ooh,
Because
look at Squeaky Will's comment.
the cops in Idaho told the community they weren't in any danger either. I know I covered that case from day one too.
Yep.
Could have struck. That's the thing. Could have struck 10 more times, and you know why?
Mhm.
Because WSU didn't think his little white car was relevant to a damn thing. Turned their pretty little head the other way. Didn't
Yep.
even bother to call Moscow and tell him, turns out.
Nothing to see here.
No.
What they said.
That car don't match the year they're looking for, guys, so put it away. Oh, and ignore all them complaints we're getting, too, about that guy. And Santa Cronodal's sister attended WSU with
Yep.
Brian Berger. Didn't have classes together, but his victim's sister was right there among him the entire time. And nothing to see here. Y'all are all safe.
And they said that from day one. That no one's in
Yeah,
any
'cause
danger.
Chief Fry accidentally repeated something the BAU, I think, said to him when he said the house was the target. Everybody flipped out. The house was the target. What the hell? Who's going to target a house? Well, then the internet had to have a reason. Well, that's because there's tunnels. The house was the target because the house backed up to a very dark lot with a sliding glass door, easy to enter and exit, the same way Danny Rawlings chose to enter his houses of target. He didn't target a particular girl. He targeted particular homes. And Brian Koberger was absolutely all up in Danny Rawlings' business. So yeah, the house was targeted the whole time. But the chief can't come out there and explain that away without a suspect to arrest to tell y'all it's safe. It's just a serial killer, maybe, targeting houses that are easy to get into, right? Well, it would have been better to come say that. Like, y'all lock your doors and be safe. We got a madman on the loose. Right? But then they're afraid they're going to cause widespread panic, right?
Yeah.
Vigilante Liz, you hear a noise, you're shooting through the door kind of thing. I don't know. You
He
shoot
just needs to sit down and just stay off.
Well, he's only doing it. It's by design. She works for NBC. They got the local NBC affiliate. They're all in good together. They used a lot of that NBC local affiliate stuff when Savannah was doing all these things with her mom. She's in the studio over there in New York, even with the one we saw about the bed making, but somebody from NBC was in Nancy's house. They came from the local affiliate to help with all this stuff. So they're the only ones getting his interviews. And over there in their daytime morning world, even though Savannah's is falling apart, theirs seems to be pretty shiny and, moving right along and holding out hope and all the things. It's weird. A weird vibe you get with all of it. But yeah, the sheriff, I'm with Brian's frustration. Why are you only giving this place an interview? Because after a while, this girl's going to start catching hell. I mean, it's not her fault these chose to do it that way.
Yeah.
You can almost blame the network for doing it too.
Yeah.
You don't think you're not raking in the numbers by being the one to get the sheriff's interviews?
Yeah, definitely.
And all this talk about Savannah coming back, when that happens, you don't think their ratings are going to go through the roof? Because people want to come see how Savannah's doing. How's Savannah going to get through this? What's going on here? People are going to come to see. And if you think for a second, there's not all these CEOs and people in the boardroom have a lot of feelings. Their end game is not how you feel at the end of the day. It's about how
Mm-hmm.
much dollars we're making at the end of the day. And it's a sick thing that you even think about. But
Yeah.
you can't unsee that kind of stuff once it happens, right?
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
He gained a lot of information from a lot of those different shows because that's how you knew she was Miss Nancy lived alone. Well, you could absolutely get a lot of information from those shows. Hawkeye,
Mm-hmm.
because even like I said, going back to last November when NBC Today show aired that series, the Down Home, whatever they called it, and she did the big presentation with her mom in Tucson. All we reviewed it. Brian Enton's done been back to that restaurant where they filmed all that, and the FBI had been in there, according to the restaurant employees, and questioned them about things like, did anybody odd show up during those filming sessions? Was there anybody there demanding photos? That did anything off? Anybody who shouldn't have been here lurking
Right.
around in the background? All those kind of things. They didn't go ask that stuff for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
They have to investigate that avenue, especially if she had any sort of weird letter in the past,
Yeah.
right? Or even an indication of a person slightly obsessed or mad or whatever you want to call these people. Any communication. Then they also would have went back and looked at any she didn't open. We went over that too, you know. You got to
Mm-hmm.
part that aspect of her life because we have watched the analysis from the he was for the retired FBI, but he also headed up a unit out in LA, and they were a unit developed to look into stalkers of these celebrities, and he said NBC was one of their biggest ones, that they would come to them several times a year. Hey, can you check out this person? One of our female talents is now being harassed. He said
Mm-hmm.
it happened more times than you would think. And I was like, wow. And he has said it multiple times on multiple panels. People
Right.
just aren't picking up on it enough. They're like, oh, that's standard. You know, the crazy behind the keyboard never amounts to
Mm-hmm.
anything but a crazy behind the keyboard. Really? Because they end up going and picking up children and kidnapping them all the time.
Right.
And they make that initial contact on that keyboard, but they move beyond it at some point. So you can't rule everything out. I can't rule out robbery gone wrong. Okay. Okay. So maybe it was. Maybe it was a gang initiation because it certainly wasn't a gang robbery. You need to go to this house and you need to
Mm-hmm.
kidnap somebody. You got to do that. Okay. Could have been. But inexperienced crooks at the door are going to leave more evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Koberger wasn't experienced in crimes, but he was experienced about knowledge of crimes.
Right.
Heavily experienced about the knowledge. So that's what helped him out. You know, because the less educated you go down, the messier it's going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Like even with Idaho, it's the frat boys. I'm like, come on. If I got a handful of frat boys partying, drinking, whatever, busting up in this house, doing all of that, somebody's left
Yeah.
some evidence behind, right?
Yeah.
Some serious evidence, and probably one of them is going to break and cry to mama in a minute. Wait for it, right? I don't know.
I mean, there's a big difference between planning it out and executing it, especially if it's your first time. That's going to be something miss or that he didn't do correctly that
And
left
you know,
behind. And he did.
yeah, and I think that a lot of too, that's part of the reason why these profilers are having a hard time with this guy, because if we don't know the reason he's at the door, how can we do a proper profile of the guy at the
Mm-hmm.
door? Because if he's a burglar, you're going to give me the standard textbook, uh, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? The standard version of what a burglar is going to do or consist
Right.
of. What kind of personality, all the things. What if it was a kidnapping for a ransom? A legit, elaborate.
Is there one person or two people or more people involved?
Well, there's
Like
always,
all that plays into it.
you have to move, they're going to move into that secondary. That's only really for me, if there's a stalker involved, because there's a different level that I gotta insert at that point. But if we're just going with the guy at the door, either way, if he is a skilled criminal working with kidnapping schemes, we can profile him differently than a burglar who's
Right.
just a routine burglary guy who's good at breaking in houses. Okay, there's a big difference between those two types of criminals. Now, if I've got a stalker, that's going to be a whole different
A whole
profile.
other level. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got to wonder, are they schooled in crimes themselves? Like, I know, like breaking and enterings, things like that. Is this their first time attempting something like this? They got brave, they put a lot of thought into it, or is there another person involved? But you would only think multiple people would indicate burglary or kidnapping. Stalking, you're going to think one
Right.
person.
Yeah.
Or
Exactly.
unless we go with that one definition I read like a week ago about the two people that could possibly be involved in the same crime and why they would be involved together in the same crime. Because I was wondering, okay, what if, take male stalker off the table? Because like Maureen said, those women, they're a force to be reckoned with. And she
Right.
was talking about female stalkers, okay? They don't go away, she said. So if you have place a female with a problem, how does this guy at the door figure in? Like hired gun, boyfriend, brother? The bond would have to be strong enough where they were certain it would never be broken. Like, you won't rat on me. But that's a little. It's a lot for a stalker thing. Like to have to be so. You would have to have so much control over that person, right? That's like elaborate to me. Like, I'm like, girl, what are you thinking? So
Right.
the guy at the door, just like the lone wolf stalker, what would motivate him to be at that door? And does he have any skills in his background that would help him be the guy at
Right.
the door? Hmm. Squeaky, you believe they were a hoax, all of them, or just the? Because y'all know there was the very first two. The very first one did not go to TMZ. I think people have either didn't know that or just forgotten because so many things went to TMZ. The very first two letters, the very first one only went to the local station. The second letter went to the local station and to TMZ. After that, all the other letters went to TMZ. All those other letters, I believe, is a hoax. Absolutely. I'm on the fence about the first two. For only because
FBI was involved.
well, they're going to get him. Well, they're going to have to become involved just because it's out there. A letter was received. That's all it takes. A ransom
Yeah.
was received. All it takes to get the FBI to look at it. When they put it out there that here we are in the first letter, right? And then Savannah wants proof of life. Nothing else came from those first two letters. Nothing come back. Never again until you got the south of the border guy coming in hot with, I know things. I saw shit 5 days ago south of the border. And then you go into detail what's going to happen if you don't pay me. First of all, you guys information, so what are you going to do, right? So yeah, he's off the table. It's those very first two. And if the FBI is so damn good, why haven't they found?
Why? Exactly.
Why are we? Because you can't tell me this is just a robbery gone wrong situation. I mean, it could be, but I somehow don't think it was. So what does that leave if you don't got a robbery? And if you don't got a kidnapping, because those were a hoax, what are you left with? Well, if you're one of those expert profilers, you're going to go back to robbery. They're like, well, so then give us your take on what you think.
Going in circles.
Oh, well, it was a robbery. I'm like, damn, no, a while ago it wasn't.
Right.
There's no other logical answers, right? If it's not a damn robbery gone wrong. Why else you gonna go in some lady's house in the middle of the night if you ain't trying to steal stuff? Unless you're trying to steal her. Now, why are you trying to steal her?
Exactly.
Are you an obsessed person or are you just needing some money today? It's one or the other. I don't
Yeah.
believe aliens come down today. They could have, but I doubt it. I don't believe one of them little weird little animals that run amok in her yard got her.
No.
I don't think it was the coyotes. It's no evidence of none of that stuff. But there is evidence this guy was at the door.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Is the kidnapping a cover up? Ruth, that is something we have explored a little bit. If it was, would you think that a stalker took her and then to throw the eyes off of them, they're like, I'm going to write some fancy kidnap ransom letters? Very possible. But whoever wrote those ransom letters, including the second batch from south of the border guy, FBI can't find them. Now, that they could probably know who they are, maybe not know them like 1,000%, but they may know they're sitting in another country, and there's nothing we can do about that. All they did was send letters, right, and demand some money. But we can't just jump on a plane, fly to their country, and be like, oh, by the way, we're here to get you because you sent these letters. It ain't gonna work like that.
Yeah.
So either they know where they're at and they're just not saying because they can't go get them and they don't feel the need to address it publicly. But it's weird they can't find either or have never addressed finding the people that sent any of those letters. Because it didn't take them long to find the guy out of Cali,
Right.
Annie and Tom. Like, and I get it, he wasn't using a VPN, he was using a stupid app, but I'm saying it's weird they haven't found them. Or
Mm-hmm.
they haven't even come out to say, hey, we have verified that all of that
Right.
was BS. They haven't even done that. And to me, that says a lot. I mean, it's weird, I know, but I don't know what. I think that second batch of TMZ letters was probably some asshole sitting behind a VPN somewhere. The first two that came through, though, especially that very first one, I can't sit here and say those are frauds. Not yet.
Yeah, I wish they would just come out and say
Okay,
one
so
way
if
or the other.
it's a kidnapping for money and the letters aren't real, where's the real letters? Like, they never reached out because did something happen to Nancy within hours of taking her and there was not a reason to reach out anymore? Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They were never going to be able to produce her because something tragic happened and they just didn't bother with it at that point. Like, fuck, you know what I mean? Cut our ties. Because I'm telling you right now, if somebody had the balls to go in that house and kidnap her for a ransom scheme, they're getting the hell out of Dodge as fast as they can when everything goes south.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it could be somebody from right there in the area that thought it was a good idea. Didn't think it through all the way. I'm going to go in there and take Miss Guthrie. I know I can get me some money, save my home, and buy my car, whatever, It'll fix everything if I just go kidnap Miss Guthrie. Did they not think it would not become a national story? So I don't know why you would kidnap somebody if you did not send a ransom letter, unless something tragic happened within a few hours of that kidnapping. And then we also have to, like we said, but also short term versus long term. A kidnapper doesn't plan for a long term thing here. They're wanting a quick turnaround. They don't plan to take care of an elderly lady. They want it gone. But a stalker, we don't know what their motive was for taking Miss Nancy. Are they prepared to go the distance? Like taking care of her kind of thing. Like, you're mine, mommy, now. Weird. Who knows what person like that would be thinking. Um,
Mm-hmm.
look at comments. Forrest, I saw you mention Andy's show. We were in there
His
earlier.
power went out.
Whose went out?
Forrest, his power went out.
Oh, at home? Oh no. He made a comment about being in Andy's show earlier. There it is. Oh, when he was watching, I thought he fell out of the stream. I was like, where did Forrest go? Because we were both in there hanging out with Andy and chilling. Because I hadn't seen her in a while, right? And I was starting to get concerned. Where's my friend? And then lo and behold, she's live. So I jumped
Power
in.
outages.
Uh-oh. You there? You there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I went away for a second. I don't know
Yeah,
what
you
happened.
dropped out. It brought you right back up. I didn't
Weird.
have to do anything. But yeah. Oh,
So him and Rachel had outages.
did y'all get the winds, the crazy high
Mm,
winds? It got
crazy.
bad uh with the tornadoes. Were y'all watching the storm chasers yesterday and last night, or was it yesterday? They got plummeted, man. Their cars
Mm-hmm.
got all smashed in and hit with all kinds of hail. There was some wild tornado footage out there. Um, and it's weird because before that happened, we had been experiencing a drought here and some humidity, and it had like been hot. Like I was complaining today, we had a mild winter. Man, yesterday evening,
Mm-hmm.
it was like like a switch just flipped, and it was almost cold. I was like, "What
Yeah.
the hell you
It
doing,
was cooler
Florida?"
overnight, and then it's going to be up to 89 on Sunday, and then the next day it's going to drop into the low 40s.
What? Stop
Yes.
it. I know Forrest sent that picture to us in the Discord of the snow outside of the apartment there, and I was like, "Oh, man." It
Yeah.
looked cold. It didn't just look
Mm-hmm.
like snow, right? It looked like, "That's cold." And I was like, "Oh, man."
Oh, get this. Monday night into Tuesday morning, 37.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know.
What
Crazy weather. 91 on Sunday high, and then 59 high on Monday. And I was just about to put all my winter clothing away.
No,
Oh,
not
I
yet.
guess not.
Yeah. In Florida, I can't until like the end of April. Like it could be a tease. Like the light sweaters have to stay out, something like that.
Yeah.
The light stuff has to stay out because I know better. It. I can't even get into. If I go to the Gulf to go to the beach, I don't get in that water till June. I'm a native. That's cold to me. All of them people from other places come here, and they don't care. 45 degrees, they're jumping in. I'm like, damn. They're like, it
Wow.
feels great. You don't know how many times we've seen that from people from the Northeast, especially get down here and they're just like running into the Gulf, and it's like the greatest thing ever. And I'm freezing watching them. They're like, it smells great.
Crazy people.
Okay, that feels great to you. I hate to feel like what it really feels like where you come
Right.
from, right? I don't think I would survive it long. Oh my goodness. I got change. Do I think she was drowned? To Miss Nancy? No, I don't have a reason so far to think to. No, I never thought about it.
Mm-mm.
Hawkeyes, you watched the Storm Chasers? Yeah, it was crazy. It's sad though because all those homes destroyed. It's hard for me to watch it because I know what that feels like, and I don't enjoy it. It does something to my soul. And I mean, I saw some of those images, and I'm just like, man, if I know the long road ahead for those people. So
Yeah.
my prayers and thoughts go out to everybody who was affected and lost their home, lost loved ones, got damaged, all the things. Because you don't know what to do. You're just standing there in a pile of rubble. What do I do
Mm.
next, right? And eventually the media is going to go away, and you're going to be
Yeah.
left there wondering, what do I do next? So I hate
Yeah, I
when the
think that line of storms was just north of us that we weren't
yeah.
affected by it.
because I was watching on those chasers, and I was like, damn, that's not too far out from where you were. So at
Mm-hmm.
least it wasn't like right on you. Because I,
But it was close enough that if anything shifted, we would have been affected by it. So,
yeah, it's like it just skirted past you and got and missed you. So you're far from being out of the woods, Forest.
mm.
Rachel says she can still get snow in April. Ah, I had a friend. I have a friend who lives up in Illinois, and she would send me videos in May of it snowing, and I'm like, "Girl, you got to be kidding me! It is. It's like
Mm.
May, the first week of May, and she got snow, and I'm like, oh hell no, we're headed to the beach right now. I'm not going swimming, but I'm going out there to chill.
Right?
The water's not. I
Mm.
don't get in until June. Um, I was 2 years old, Hawkeyes, when Camille roared through. I've heard about it my entire life. It was a very devastating storm, wasn't it? It just ripped through there and caused so much devastation, and that wasn't too far from me. Um, a couple hours from me, but just down the highway, down the coast. Could have been any of us along the Gulf Coast, but it was a bad one, and they hadn't had a storm like Camille until 1979 when Hurricane Frederick rolled through, and I remember Frederick. Wow, that storm was wild because I was old enough then to experience what it was really like to be in the middle of a hurricane. It was, that was like the first time, but that was a huge, crazy storm. And they were comparing Frederick to Camille because that was the last time a big storm had hit the Gulf Coast.
Mm.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, our hurricane season gets geared up soon. All of us have our rockin' and rolly kind of weather, don't we? We just, whatever it. Like,
Right.
people say, I don't know how you do the hurricane country. I'm like, well, I don't know how you do blizzards, so we're even, right? Like, that's the way it
Or
rolls.
tornadoes.
Right. Some regions have like the forest fires, right? They have to
Yeah.
do with that. Like out there in LA, there's always like fires burning, and then you got the twisters, and it's like everybody's got their thing, man. They got
Yeah.
earthquakes out in California too. I'd be afraid I'll be trying to eat my dinner and chilling. Like the big old earthquake comes along, and the next thing you know, you're
Mm.
falling off the face of the earth. Like, no, thank you. At least with my brand of weather, I know it's coming. As far
You
as
have some time.
yeah, as far as all of us knowing when the blizzard people, they know it's coming too. So, but tornadoes is not so, it's a chance, but
Right.
it's hard to predict those things.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to predict where a hurricane's going to make landfall, but you know this shit's coming. Get ready.
Right.
Some of that stuff you have no idea.
Mm-mm.
Like the earthquakes, ski Utah. What about those landslides, man? I ain't trying to get up no landslide business either.
Right.
Snow slides, whatever. In my luck, I'd go up the mountain for the first time ever to like attempt to ski and cause an avalanche.
Avalanche. Right. Uh-uh.
I'd roll down the mountain, ball it up into a snowball. And
You buried under. Never
Lord,
find me again.
take me hours to dig me out. I'll be all cold and shit by the time I got done. Lord, I would never go back again. I just couldn't imagine it. Parts of Colorado have many earthquakes. They've had like mild earthquakes around the southeast, but I have never experienced one or felt one. I mean,
Mm-mm.
I've had the windows shimmy and shake when the bass gets to rocking and rolling, and the booms are happening, but I've not no earthquakes.
Mm-mm.
That had to be crazy. You'd be sitting there one day and it's like everything just starts going. I've seen the videos of, when earthquakes are happening. That's just wild. I guess all you can do is get, what was it, 19 in the, what year was it when what was it, the World Series of the baseball or something? And they had that big earthquake at San Francisco, maybe it was. God, was it in the late 80s or early 90s? Somewhere around there. It was a lot. People's cars were just like pancaked in between, the highways and big old holes. And it was like, I had never
Wow.
seen anything like I've seen flattened homes because of hurricanes and tornadoes.
Mm-hmm.
That devastation, holy hell.
Right.
Like, that was crazy. Twisting and turning buildings and such. Squeaky, you live in Middle Tennessee. Right? Y'all have become part of the new Tornado Alley. It's been that way for a minute. It's like crept more closer to you. I know what you're saying. Cousins are in Colorado, just had a big snowstorm. I bet a lot of the country's ready for all that mess to be over with.
Mm-hmm.
Have to deal with that on the regular. Like I was asking Forrest, when is it like summer there, man? Do y'all
Right. Do you ever have summer?
I don't know, like I know I'm on a like different I'm on the tropical thing, so like summer
Yeah.
for me is different than everybody else. Like when do y'all summer start? Because mine starts soon, like in
Yeah.
May, and my friends will be having snow, so I don't know what's going on.
Right.
I have no clue what's going on half the time.
Mm-mm.
But
This weather's nuts.
it is. Maybe it'll straighten out. Maybe it'll warm up. Because soon enough, everybody be complaining about how hot it is. I will
Mm.
not. As long as I got my air conditioner works, y'all will not hear. I complain all winter. So I try not to complain all summer because then I'm just a complainer. It's like pick one. It's like
I
that old
complain in the summer.
right. Yeah, yeah. I mean that's fine because you chose one. We don't want
Right.
old man that just talks about the weather. Oh damn it, it's hot today. Oh man, it's so cold today. Like, well, you fuck, it's so fucking weather.
Are
You
you
know,
ever happy?
right?
In the
So
fall, my
I don't
favorite.
want. I made a conscious decision not to be that bitchy person because I do not like the winter. I made a decision, hard line in the sand. Go away, winter. You're rude.
I say the same to the summer because it gets hot, 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 hot. I can't.
Yeah, I'm in Florida with the humidity, and you're in Texas
Yeah.
with the humidity. We get hot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true now, but the older I've gotten, it can be hard to breathe because it's so thick at times. But I've got air conditioning. I'm okay.
You know, those menopausal hot flashes just
I don't have
make it
that.
worse. Yeah. Well, I do.
I wish that I don't know if I ever did. Honestly, I hear tell of that stuff, but I don't know. Um, I like it to where it can be cool enough in the evening to sit outside and not be
Mm-hmm.
sweating at 6 p.m. like I'm prone to do here in Florida soon enough. Soon
I like
enough.
the fall's like what 2 months. We don't even get that because then it's still like November. You still have your warm, humid days. So
Yeah.
our fall's like December when it's still not that cold.
No, our December's not winter to me yet. January and February.
Mm-mm.
But like I said, this
Mm-hmm.
January and February was mild for us compared to what it could
Yeah.
have been. Now, this photo shows remember how we could never find the doors on the patio. We knew
Mm-hmm.
the patio existed and then it took Fox Digital a couple weeks to finally drop the images, and I think the interview room found them right about the same time we did because they must have been on there when they dropped them because I saw them immediately. I was like, wait a minute, we do have a
Right.
slider. But of the image that we showed, because the one they're walking into right now, that would be the one adjacent to Nancy's bedroom.
Right.
Okay, so then if we go back up, let me get to when you walk in, you're looking at the bed. You know what I'm saying? The foot of the bed, and that window's on the side of the house. And like I said, we don't know that they didn't get in through that side. Um, we've looked at all the doors. We see no signs of forced entry anywhere with all the
Mm-hmm.
doors that we can see. The two back doors, the blue doors, the front doors, and then there's two sliders on that patio. Um, but there was a picture. Did I upload that one? Let me see. Well, this one is from the guest house.
Right.
And they're squatting down right there and they're taking I can't tell if that's photos, It looks like one's got something yellow in her hand or colored. As I see a color image there, like I'm nearly blind, y'all. Um, but they're taking a picture, they're swabbing something, they're doing some sort of recovery right there, as far as evidence goes. And then we've seen the image where that door is open, and there's a rug that's there, right? And it
Yeah.
looks like a beanbag chair possibly is sitting there as well. And this is the part where it overlooks the green space of Nancy's backyard. And excuse me. And this was the floodlight that was right next to the garage door. And can y'all see how that brick is damaged behind the light? That takes some force to do that.
Yep.
It wasn't just like the white light itself was pulled from the base and dangling from its wiring. You got, like, they tried to pull the whole fixture down, it looks like, or something did. It's so weird. And then we don't know what the guest house cameras yield either. That's the one that would look over the garage, parking right there in front of the garage. That is where that one is located. Now,
what did that one see?
Exactly. And the one that goes over the other one looked over the green space. Now, this one should have seen Annie and Tommaso, or Tommaso bringing Annie home Saturday night. The Uber may have come to the front door, right? Pulled up into the circle. Or might have had an instruction pull the garage door. I don't know. But he would have dropped her off back here at the garage door. That camera would have seen it. And it could timestamp what time Nancy got home. If it recorded and all the things, which I doubt that it did, honestly. We haven't heard shit about these cameras since they, at all, from the authorities, right? Except they removed them. We saw it. But what would it have seen? And it also appears when they're doing the work out here, that's the patio to the left again, right? The sliding doors and that pony wall, that the guys that are standing here you can kind of gauge now how tall that wall really is, and how, you know what I mean? So we know Nancy's not coming over that wall.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. I don't care if you got a tarp or which flying magic carpet. She came out the front door, obviously, but anybody could have hopped over. But the thing about this side of the house, and I'll have to find the video, so when we do this presentation, we got aerial footage of them walking around that house this particular day. And they're concentrated on this side of the house. And they walk from this area down the left side of the house. There's a little path back behind the house to the pool area. That side did not have cameras, unlike the other side of the house that did.
I would have wanted cameras there if I was on that side of the house sleeping.
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't really. I mean, I don't know if these two here on the guest house were just for wildlife or what it was, and the other side of the house wasn't thought about much. I don't know.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's so, and then, of course, that was the camera. I have it circled there of the one that was in the front of the guest house that overlooked the green space. But those and if the assailant come through the right side of the home, where we know there are two cameras, if they went into this back blue door, chance they're going to be seen. We don't know how much far that view, you know what I mean, the field of view from that camera, how wide the angle out goes. So if they entered from the other side of the house, would they have known these cameras were there from past surveillance, right? If they had done such a thing. Because it just, over here you got to navigate. There's a neighbor relatively close on the side. Both of her neighbors on the side, in reality, are not too far from her. They're not like next door super close either. But they're not so far they can't hear or see something. Now, granted, 2 o'clock in the morning, you probably not going to hear shit. And then that one behind her, that neighbor, he was pretty close. Would you go back?
But if they had dogs, would they hear? My dogs hear everything.
If they're outside. We got that one neighbor who
Mm.
now claims my dog woke up, needed to go outside, but I can't. I needed to hear that day one, not
Mhm.
30 days into an investigation from a random neighbor that I cannot identify where that house was even at. I know about where y'all are telling me it was at, but if there were outside dogs, yeah. Now, if your
Yeah.
dog is in the house chilling with you asleep and you're in your house, do you have a fan on? There's a lot of space now between them and Nancy's house. They're
Mhm.
probably not going to hear a creeper in the night who's barely making a sound.
Yeah.
If the dog was outside, they'd probably absolutely hear that person sneaking around and would start barking and alert somebody. But if they're in
Mhm.
the house, probably not. They would have heard a car.
So the car door.
Right.
But if they're really trying to be quiet, they're not gonna be slamming car
And dogs
doors
will hear
and
a lot more. When I had my ex-husband, he would work at night, right? And the girls were babies, but I had my female dog with me. And this dog was amazing. But I would sit there at night, and if I thought I heard a noise before I reacted or did anything, I looked at her to wait to see
Mhm.
what her reaction was going to be. Her ears would perk up, and she'd listen. If it was nothing, that dog would lay down and go back to sleep. If it was something or she thought it could be something, she's getting up and she's going to investigate. Guess who was right behind her? Me.
Mhm.
Phone in one hand. Who we fixing? We going to call 911? Are we what's happening? But
Right.
so they're gonna hear a lot, but it depends if it alerts them or not, right?
Yeah.
So a car door, car noise, yeah. Car engine pulling into the driveway, right?
Mhm.
Because
Yep.
if somebody
Mine
pulled,
would.
yeah, yeah, yours would. You call
You
our
heard
house,
mine today.
the phone rings. Them dogs are like, no, 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 somebody's in here. But if you pull into her house, you're gonna leave the engine running or kill the engine. You're gonna kill the lights if you got half a brain. Um, and they apparently had at
Mhm.
least half a one. Um, so yeah, but I don't. Nobody's reported dogs were going ballistic except for now. We got this one dog barking, but nobody else has reported they heard anything that night at all. We just don't. So if a car pulled into the drive, let's see if I can get. Do I have a picture? If if they pulled in on the side of the garage, that camera would have seen them from the guest house. But it would it have recorded anything? Would it have? Why would Nancy have those set up if they were for wildlife if she was never going to see what was happening on the cameras, right?
Mhm.
Were those set up to alert her if motion detected? Where'd that detection at 212 come from? Was it one of these cameras?
Right. Mhm.
We don't
That's
know
the
that
big
part.
question.
It is. It's like, what the hell was your timeline? But you would think that the car, came into the right side of the driveway, back where Tom would have dropped off Nancy, that camera would have seen them. It makes, and there's a picture. Let's see if I have that one uploaded because it showed. I may not have because it just showed. There's a car parked in the driveway, right? And it's a
Mhm.
drone shot from the FBI. But you can really tell how, here it is, I think. You can really tell how close those cars can get to that front walk. And
Right.
notice the investigators here on the side, there on the walkway, they were looking at something over here to the side. That was before the FBI came back and canvassed so hot and heavy
Mhm.
on the patio side. There was always something about this side of the house, right? Um,
Footprints?
I don't know. No, because in one spot, he looks like he's gonna brush something with his hand, and I watched the drone video
Mhm.
footage of them doing that. They never,
Mhm.
like, collected. They were just looking. Like, I don't think there was blood or anything like that, but there was, like, maybe partial shoe prints or something, so
Right, like where they step, not
yeah,
not
disturbed.
actual just to see
Yeah.
that somebody stepped through there. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing like would have yielded like a print good enough to get a mold from, right?
Right.
Because if you arrest an assailant later, you're going to go try to find his shoes and kind of match it to this shoe print we found on scene. Um,
Mhm.
so I think it was just there's something over there. So it just feels
To
like this
indicate they
person.
walked through there,
Yeah, they're
if
coming from
anything.
exactly, especially when they came back in this last time when they brought the prosecutor back in with them, and they were
And they
so
walked through
heavily
there.
yeah, it just like, what's going on? But you can see how close that car can actually get all the way up to the sidewalk. But
Mhm.
they could have easily just pulled in and scooped her in, and
Right.
but when they drive out of that driveway, what do they back out so that camera over there don't see them? Well, we don't even know if they were aware of those damn cameras. I'm assuming they were if they did any
True.
kind of surveillance. But isn't it interesting if they knew those two cameras were back there, that they only chose to mess with the one camera up here?
Mhm.
The one that
Maybe
was,
they did back out.
yeah, instead of going all the way around the loop to taking a chance. This
Mhm.
one would have seen them bring Nancy out the front door. The ones on the guest house wouldn't. And you got to climb on top of the roof to get to the ones on the guest house. That's a lot of risk. Somebody could have
Yeah.
seen you. Somebody could have got up to go to the bathroom and looked out the window and said, "Oh, there's a man on Miss Nancy's roof. What are they doing?"
On that white roof in black.
Right? Get off Miss Nancy's white roof. You're going to scuff it. Fuck. It's just weird that there's absolutely no clues. Like, in the Idaho case, we did not know there was a sheath for the
Yeah,
longest
it just
time.
makes you wonder what we don't know.
What's that
You know what I
one thing
mean?
what is that one thing they might have that we don't know?
Mhm.
Because it was almost to the point where, do they even have anything in Idaho? This dude could be long freaking gone, right? It's been
Yeah.
damn near 6 weeks. It's obviously not a local college kid. You'd have caught his clumsy ass by now. What's going on there? This person I felt like was long gone. Well, lo and behold, he was long gone, but we didn't know he had left his sheath there the whole time.
Mhm.
Is there that one thing well, outside of their mixture DNA? I forgot they had that. Because if you
Yeah.
can't pull a solid profile out of your mixture, and I was listening to, what's that guy's name? Greg. I don't want to mispronounce his last name. Campikian, whatever. I played one of his things here before, and he didn't like it. Not like him personally. Whoever runs his channel didn't like it, but he was interviewed by another lady that I watched last night, and they were talking about the DNA mixtures specifically. And this dude is like one of the godfathers on DNA. I like listening to him. He also testified in the Chad Daybell trial about the DNA in that case. It's very interesting to listen to about the complexities of mixtures and how
Mhm.
inaccurate it can be if you're not careful. Right? And so a lot of the things that the sheriff comes out and says, he don't even know what the hell he's talking about to start with. You know, oh, it could take
Mhm.
years with advancements. Like, dude, you need to go watch some videos, sir, to explain to the public a little better
Some
when
education is what he
yeah,
needs before he talks.
your nonsense goes with your word salad just lovely.
It just makes everything worse because then people assume because they don't know either. I mean, not everyone's just educated and knows about it. So,
DNA is going to solve the case on a glove 2 miles away. Yay! The DNA belongs to a restaurant worker. Oh, nobody cares how we figured that out.
mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all don't care because it could be your DNA next on a glove on the side of the road.
Mhm.
Don't shed nowhere. You may
Don't
accidentally get caught up
don't
in a
throw your
murder.
band-aids anywhere. Just,
Oh, good
pick those
Lord.
up.
The gross Band-Aids. That was like during the pandemic and everybody wanted to throw their mask all over the place. So
Yes, that
gross.
too.
You had Band-Aids in your mask. What the hell's wrong with you people? Y'all heard there was a pandemic going around. You're leaving your germs all over the place. I cannot.
Mhm.
I was already a germophobic. This is driving me insane. I'm going to get an airborne disease. I have autoimmune. I can't catch your bullshit.
Right?
I may not recover as well as you do. It could put me down for a week, man. The common cold could. Y'all ain't noticed I get a lot of colds? I'm telling you, autoimmune disease ain't nothing to play with. I will catch your cold by hearing that you got one. I gotta be so careful. I've always practiced that 6 feet thing. Just it's a good general rule to have in general, right?
Right.
6 feet. My bubble is my sacred space. I just looked
Mhm.
over my cat's attacking her little toy mouse. See, it's 10 o'clock, Butterfly. She thinks it's playtime. And I'm like, it's time for a snack in bed.
Nope.
Gotta
She's
miss you
gonna go
guys.
paw you.
Not, not streaming yesterday. I'm like, what are my friends doing? That's what I don't know, Hawkeyes. I don't know. Well, none of us know for sure if a jammer was used or not. Nobody can say if that was a jammer in his pocket or not. There's speculation, but here's the thing about the jammer. If we got a jammer in our pocket and we're jamming all the cameras as we walk by them, sneaking up through the back, because the person in the back's one that lost camera, which is a weird way to come in given the terrain back there and it's a cul-de-sac, but we'll get there if that in the theory. But if I got a jammer, why am I trying to take this camera? Why is it so important?
Mhm.
Just in case the jammer don't work, right? Because I'm not convinced that was a jammer because nobody knows. It very well could have been just a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
I mean, really, seriously, there's no like 1,000 people can come to me and show me that same picture. I'm going to see exactly what you see, and I'm still going to tell you I don't know what that is in that man's pocket because I honestly don't know. But I don't think it was a jammer because why take this camera if you knew your jammer? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless they were unsure of their jammer situation, just in case it fails.
And why just that one?
Right. Well, you would if they had a jammer, it would have interfered with so many things, right? That run
Mhm.
on the Wi-Fi capabilities. Because if you go listen to the experts who know what jammers do and how they work, because I went and listened to those people to kind of figure all this out in my head. There would have been a lot more going on than just one part. Now we did hear the FBI has looked into it, but
There was
when
just one
when
one
well, I mean,
house,
they
right?
probably well, we've heard there was a couple of houses, but they were sporadic
Mm.
around the neighborhood. It wasn't like
Oh,
they were all in line here, here, and here. There was one several streets over here. There was one back over here. But these people are saying a lot of things right now. You know, we had fake FBI agents in the house. We're being asked about phones. We're being asked about pacemakers. We're being asked about all these things. That's
yeah.
starting to all come out there now. So we got to take all of that with a grain of salt. I mean, these people probably mean well, but we got to make sure, you know. So even
Mhm.
with the jammer used, it's a possibility, but I just don't see that that was used. It would have interfered with a lot of stuff, according to the experts. You know how they actually work. It doesn't jam like the internet. You know what I mean? It will
Mhm.
interfere with
The Wi-Fi,
signals, right? It will interfere with signals and different things, and uh,
cellular.
yeah, I mean, it's just there's people speculated that Brian Koberger used one. Okay, this is not a new device to me. The
Yeah.
sniffer was, but I went and found me a video from the manufacturer of the sniffer because I didn't need to
Mhm.
rely on people telling me what the hell it was, and I'm going to go look. All right, that's just how I roll. But they suspected was a jammer used. You know, was a Faraday bag used to put the phone in. We examined it all, the possibilities, but I just don't know. I feel like there was probably a walkie-talkie over a jammer though. Or
Yeah.
he wouldn't have needed to worry about this camera situation right here at all. And you'd think if he was worried about that one, he would have worried about the other ones. And when did this happen to the light? You know,
Mhm.
that night was somebody making a bunch of noise. Were they hitting it with a sledgehammer? What are they doing?
Hanging on it.
hanging, right, jumping up, grabbing it, and yanking, but it would enough to. I mean, it is an old house. That brick could have been a little brittle back there. I don't know. So that was my thought too. Did they yank on this damn thing? All right, is this above?
They could have because it's not tore out of the wall, so they just broke the actual like the lights
They would have
themselves.
had to have done that while the light was on, right? Because it's a motion light. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
come on when they entered the parameter there, and they didn't want a bunch of. So did they get into the house from the back? And they wanted that light off for that reason? I mean, you're taking a chance just trying to get the damn light off. Sneak under the patio door and go in. Nobody's dark. Nobody's looking. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if, there's speculation, did that light get taken down like during a surveillance? I thought that one had the light in it, but it didn't. Could it have been taken down, removed during some sort of surveillance trip to the home? And I'm like, yeah, but would Nancy have noticed it? If it had been a couple days before, a week before, there could have been a chance she would have noticed that thing was down like that.
I don't know.
I know, Squeaky, I've thought about that too. It's the simplest.
I was just thinking that.
So
I just
is
wrote that.
So what would be the simplest explanation? Robbery gone wrong and the person panicked? Like as simple as that, legit. Because there's no other reason to go in that house unless you plan to commit a robbery or an assault.
Mm-hmm.
There's not like a serial assault person happening out there in that area. Unless Nanos is like keeping that on the down low. But we haven't
It may
heard.
not be, or what about not even a serial, just somebody that was fixated on her.
Yeah, but a young weirdo that just got a fixation for just Miss Nancy. I just don't know. I mean, I know it happens,
I don't know
weirdos, but I'm just not putting that in this. Like some young guy became obsessed with this lady and just had to have her.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a hard sell for me. I feel like a stalker would have wanted her more for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, if they're going on different days and casing the house, then yeah.
SA is not the simplest answer here. Robbery gone wrong would be, in my book.
Yeah.
Because that's 9 times out of 10 what an assailant wants when they enter a home in the middle of the night. Now, granted, if they know there's a single female in that house, they're going to go in with that assault in mind. It happens all the time. Women are assaulted in their homes far too many times. But
Right.
I'm just not thinking and letting them there's also a chance this guy at the door had no idea how old the lady was inside. How did he know she was alone inside the house?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They would have had to been.
Yeah. If you're gonna go
Yeah.
SA, you have to kind of know what's in the house. Does she have a man in there? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's
How often does her family stop by? Like,
it's
are they
incredibly
always there?
a woman's house at 2 a.m. to R her and be completely unaware if there's a possibility of a man being in that house or not. They don't work like that. They do not want confrontation with a male.
Mm-hmm.
That is not in their playbook. They probably couldn't even take a man if they tried. That's why they're in there doing that to women.
Yep.
In such a manner. They're trying to avoid that man at all cost. So I don't feel like SA was even a part of this at all.
Yeah.
But robbery gone wrong, yeah. I mean, why else would you going to go into somebody's house if you weren't going to kidnap them for ransom or you became obsessed with somebody else? Obviously, robbery's all that's left. That's my book. That would be the simplest explanation.
Simplest, yep.
There's no other simple explanation. Because when you start adding in SA, that complicates it a little bit. Because then you got to factor in the type of assailant that would do it and
yeah,
all
true.
the things, no.
Mm-hmm.
You think? Well, I've wondered that. Does she know him? Did Did they cross paths at some point? Work for her in the past at some point?
Mm-hmm.
You know, this doesn't have to be because of Savannah, but you can't.
Right.
We would be fools if we said there's no chance because the lady's loaded. There's every
Yeah.
chance. But
Yeah.
there's also a chance it could be somebody who just became obsessed or upset with
With.
Nancy
Yep.
for whatever reason, right?
It could have
That,
been nothing. It could have just been.
you know, it don't take much to trigger people, girl.
Mm-mm.
Dude,
Right.
all you gotta do is look at some people the wrong way, or they think you
Or
look.
tell them no. Like,
Yeah,
I'm looking for work. No, I don't need it. Thank you. And they're pissed.
yeah. You just don't know what will set anybody off these days, even when you try to be kind about it. You know, um, but you would have guys. They are gonna have to. They have torn apart her life. All right, when I was talking to Butterfly about that, when they started digging into the lives of the victims in Idaho 4, man, they went deep. All these interviews that have coming out in the Idaho 4 case are all interviews with their friends. None of Coburger. None. All of their friends being investigated and talked to about victimology. All of their bank accounts and financials were gone through with a fine-tooth comb, looking for anything that could have indicated what happened in that house. So, like, even when we were talking, could she have paid somebody like under the table to do a job? Say a yard guy, for instance, maybe even somebody undocumented. But would she pay with a check? Right? Or even if they're documented or they're a legal U.S. citizen, is she still pay? They own their own little side hustle. Is she paying them with a check? There's going to be a paper trail of that with the bank, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be easy to go through Nancy's life and pick out who the close contacts were. But then you also got to consider, what about the acquaintances, right?
Yeah.
You watch them acquaintances sometimes because they be watching and you don't even know they're watching. Which now makes them a stalker. So what? That's weird.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know what the answer is either, guys. It's so crazy.
The ones that don't show up on anybody's radar anywhere.
Squeaky, I'm
Scary.
fine with addressing that, but there's other explanations for the 41 minutes. We don't know that it was 41 minutes total in the house. 41 minutes on the property. So if you shave off 10 minutes to get in that house, 10 minutes to do something, now you're down to 21 minutes in the house.
Because
Now,
we're relying on that time based off of what Nanos has said. So
I watched a
there's
hostage
that.
crisis guy from the FBI who was once a hostage himself, and he was asked about that specifically, right? And he said, honestly, you would be shocked at the amount of conversation being had between a kidnapper and the person they're abducting, because they need you to understand what they're doing. You may not get the why, but you need to understand what we're doing, and you are given instructions, he said. And I'm thinking, okay, because I've already shaved off some minutes on that time of in the house for 41 minutes because I know better. So I get why people think, well, he spent 41 minutes in there. Well, of course, he was assaulting somebody. I get it. But then why take the whole person? I know, because he's taking the evidence with him. Would that be the first time they ever did a essay? And it scared them so bad they took the person? Like, I have thought about all the possibilities, and I am so not afraid to discuss that one with y'all if y'all want to. But you got to make it has to make sense in the end to work. Even my theories, and I'll be debunking my own theories all day long. I aggravate myself. Like, just when you think you got it figured out, you do not. So it could be essay. It could be a weird sicko. You know, people got the foot fetishes and stuff. A old person fetish. Very well could be, but they will strike again. If that's the case, if Miss Nancy was essayed in her home and then taken away, that person will offend again. Buckle up, Tucson. Y'all better lock your fucking doors, because a bunch of y'all claim you don't. And right now, there's nobody been arrested for this crime. So my doors would be, I would be calling the locksmith and the camera installation people. Cannot trust my sheriff to protect me. Lord help us all. Yeah, Hawkeyes, I've never, not ever considered it, right? I mean, we've been covering this case, guys, from day one over here, and we are not scared to talk about all the topics. I just don't, I've thought about it long and hard, and I can't get there with that one. It don't make any sense to me. I get because of the 41 minutes, but like I said, you're taking it, you got that timeline from Nanos. Okay. I mean, we got that from Word Salad with a Side of Nonsense guy. And then if you look at the 41 minutes, though, that, the doorbell disconnected at 1:47. They don't leave the property until we go down to 2:28 when the pacemaker disconnects. That he wasn't in the house the entire 41 minutes, right? Because the 41 minutes started at 1:47 when the camera disconnected. At 2:12, another camera apparently detects motion somewhere on the property. We don't know if that's inside the house or out back. From 2:12 until 2:28, 16 minutes has passed. So I just don't, I can't make it fit. If it did, I would tell you it fits. That's, and I'd leave it on my table. Yeah, Squeaky, they probably, if this was their first offense, they're going to offend again. And if it wasn't their first offense, obviously they're a past offender. Do we have other assaults in the area under similar circumstances? Masked guy at the door, right? 2 a.m. There's going to be a link to other crimes if we have that sort of thing. It's like every time to make this gang affiliation robbery ring. There's some in the area, yeah, but not to the extent people want to go down that road. Like,
Yeah.
thug in the night, yeah, I could buy that. Couple of friends robbing houses together or whatever. But when I go to make a theory fit, I think about them long and hard, and I put all what we do know in it. And would that fit even? Does it even, you know what I mean? That's how I try to think about them anyway. Even my stalker theory, it's got all kind of problems.
Yeah. So we don't know enough. So we'll do our best to try and figure out, but
You
we
can't
won't
come
know
up with a
till after.
profile till you know why the guy's at the damn door.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a SA person at the door, we got a whole other type of offender on our hands. He's showing a lot of force for a guy who's coming into SA, an old lady.
Yep.
He's got that right there. It was like, well, that's a strange way to carry his gun. That's stupid too. No, think about it. I want this to be seen, and I need my hands free. If it's way over here on the side, is that old lady even going to see it? I need her to see it. Don't plan to use it, but I need it to be seen. I don't know. I guess I see it differently than a lot of people.
I agree, Hawkeyes. Like how much of what he's saying, because the FBI is not going to correct him.
He doesn't know a lot of the facts, guys. Outside of what his department did, as far as collecting evidence from the scene, talking to people, boots on the ground, the first 48, outside of what his department collected, he knows nothing about what the FBI has done. Nothing. He don't even know if they went to the house or not to talk to a lady. He was so concerned that it might have been fake FBI agents that he brought 7 squad cars over there, swabbed that lady, and fingerprinted her whole house.
Yep.
And then figured out it really was the FBI after all. That's the kind of guy that I'm not banking anything on. That dude don't know no fucking facts. Other than, this guy shows up at the door, I got blood on the front porch, and hell, I don't know what happened after that. Oh, I got some DNA mixture, they tell me.
Yep.
That's all he knows. Anything the FBI knows, they have not told this guy.
Yep. And Squeaky, that happens a lot everywhere. I mean, here too. So we have a large, very large homeless population. So, and we're having an issue right now with vehicle burglaries, things of that
It
sort. So,
happens
if
all.
anyone who has cameras were to look at their cameras, they would at some point probably see somebody doing something like that.
It happens
Um,
all over the country. I mean, when I
mhm.
saw that, I mean, it's it's a lot for one city, but this is a much larger city than where I live. Every day we can probably turn on the news and like this somebody's ring camera caught somebody outside
Mhm.
the house. Um,
Yep.
None of those people that we've seen, and I've seen all of them too. Like I said, we have unpacked, and I know where all those came from. Nerdy got most of those. Um, it doesn't. This guy ain't like the rest of those dudes. He's just not. There's no way anybody can convince me this guy right here is one of those prowlers in the night wandering around Tucson.
Mhm.
I just don't buy it. He would have been seen dressed similarly on
Yep.
other people's cameras with his suit. You know what I mean? He might change
Yep.
his clothes. Who knows? But I'm just saying that I don't feel like this guy has anything to do with all the creepy crawlers running around Tucson at night. Again,
Yep.
y'all lock your doors if you're in Tucson. Because have y'all seen your cameras the way we have? Damn it, man. I'm telling
Well,
you.
I need to go take my dog out. Are you going to be on, or if not, I
No, I
can
think
drop
we're
in?
gonna wrap it up for tonight. I
Okay.
hadn't talked to you guys since, yesterday I didn't come live, and just wanted to come kick it with y'all for a little while and see how things were going, and there's really no updates, but I do have some stuff together, and we're gonna see how things go over the next day or two, see if there's anything that comes down. I will be doing a show this weekend at some point, probably what is today? Like, it's Thursday.
Thursday.
Tomorrow I may come on in the morning for a few hours and we'll talk about some things and get caught up. Um, but I thank you for coming up here and hanging out with us because I think I'm going
Thank
to
you for
go and
having me.
get something to eat and chill. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, thanks for coming up. Anytime that you're available, I'd like for you to come up. So I appreciate
Nice
it.
talking with all you guys.
Well, thank you so much for coming up. They enjoy it when you come to visit.
Me
When you're
too.
not just in chat hanging out with them and you come up here and hang out as well. They like that too. So
Oh, cool.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
Good night.
All right, guys, let's see. Hawkeyes thinks the crime shows help teach them. Some of them maybe like to hone their craft, right? But what a lot of them do is continue to do what they're doing, especially with serial offenders. They learn from their mistakes and they continue and continue to try to. This day and age, it's gotten. You would think it's so much harder, even with the crime shows. Maybe that's the problem. Hawkeyes, they are learning too much from these crime shows, right? And that's why we can't find them when they how to hide from the cameras, how to leave your phone at home, that sort of thing. Yeah, Rachel, the FBI expects him to run his mouth, loose lips, sink the ship. They're like, we can't tell that guy anything. Now, the ones who they are communicating with and who they should be communicating with are the detectives assigned to the case. That's who they have to work with. That's where you hope that communication is good and solid, right? It's not about nanos. He hasn't been boots on the ground except to come to a press conference. Don't let him fool us, right? He has not been in that house collecting evidence and doing all the things. He just oversees, he's the sheriff. Do we got to do a show explaining what the sheriff's duties are today, right? He's getting told information, which isn't a lot because the sheriff's department had nothing except some mixture DNA, blood out front, and that's it. FBI had to come in and you retrieve the camera stuff, and it's out the gate since then been on them. Yeah, thank you, Forrest, for reminding us. Thank y'all for being here. And again, thank you for Butterfly for co-hosting. And please make sure you're subbed up with the notifications on. Yeah, because I don't have like a schedule. And sometimes I don't know what I'm doing from one minute to the next. And I hate to plan it and then something come up, but I do want to come live in the morning for a while because I haven't been live in the daytime in a minute. So we'll get back at our little schedule, try to get back on track. All right, guys, I'm going to go. Y'all all have a good night. Y'all, good Lord, be safe on them YouTube streets. We just can't. Hey, the end of the week is here, Friday and all the things. If y'all celebrate the weekend, yay, good for you. Y'all can relax this weekend. Yes, y'all get some rest. Y'all chill out, all the things. And y'all have a good night and be safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you all for watching.